All right, time now for our new favorite.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
You're making a first-time call on the radio. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Dan McDowell Show.
In the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone, in the dumb zone, in the zone, in the dumb zone.
No pumping, 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 no
puppet.
No puppet.
The puppet.
You're the puppet. No puppet. No puppet.
The puppet.
You're the puppet. No puppet.
A puppet.
No puppet.
A puppet.
You're the puppet.
The puppet. The puppet.
No puppet. No puppet.
The puppet.
You're the puppet. No puppet. No puppet.
'Cause now they're done. That's alright with me. I've been waiting all damn day. Isn't that still a thing? Where's my Cajun seasoning? You know, it's life to tape. It's the dumb zone. I've got the dumb zone in my ear. It's the dumb zone. Makes my work day weird. It's Dan and Blake and Jay. Got no puppet on the brain. No puppet, no puppet, no motherfucking. Got the Cowboys and the news. How embarrassing for you. It's life to tape. In the dumb zone. I've got the dumb zone in my ears. It's the dumb zone. Makes my work day weird. Said they're high atop Dan's garage. Said they're high atop Dan's garage. Yeah, they're high atop Dan's garage. Said they're high atop Dan's garage. It's the dumb zone. I've got the dumb zone in my ears. It's the dumb zone. Makes my work day weird. No puppet, no puppet, no motherfucking puppet. Said no puppet, no puppet, no motherfucking puppet. Yeah, no puppet, no puppet, no motherfucking puppet. Said no puppet, no puppet.
What does Blake do?
What does Blake do?
What does Blake do?
What does Blake do? What would you say? What does Blake do? You do here. Listen together. What does Blake do? What would you say? What does Blake do? You do here. Listen together. What does Blake do? What would you say? What does Blake do? You do here. Listen together. What does Blake do? What would you say? You do here. What does Blake do? Listen together.
Do.
What would you say? What does Blake do?
What does Blake do?
You do here.
What does Blake do?
Puppet, no 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 adios, no puppet, 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 no adios, no puppet, 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 no adios, no puppet.
http://dumbzone.com.
Now check it out, it's the Dumb Zone. We bringing the heat with Dan, Jake, and Blake, the kings of the beat. They got the comedy, they got the sport. Their rhymes so dope, they never fall short. There's a leader with the whistle so sharp, the cracking jokes. Ooh, you're funny, Don, Jake, Peter, Joker, always bringing laughter with the silly antics. Nothing else matters. And don't forget about Blake, the sports guru. He knows the game, he knows what to do. Together they're a team, shaking up the scene. The Dumb Zone, baby, living a dream. Welcome to the Dumb Zone, where we break it down. Dan, Jake, and Blake, the funniest in town. We got the comedy, we got the sport. When we hit the airwaves, it's a pumping resort.
All right, time now for our new favorite segment.
Yes, what day is it with Todd Meany?
It's Friday. Baby.
Alright, 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 alright. Alright, 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 alright. I never listen, I'm gonna listen. I wanna listen to the Dumb Zone.
I'm so attracted to the lady that says it's Friday, or that's laughing in the It's Friday bit. And I don't know what she looks like, but I can tell she's smoking hot.
Like she's like a PA or something? And you're...
What do you mean?
I mean, she's obviously off.
No, I think she's one of the hosts.
Okay.
I think she's one of the news anchors for the morning show, whatever, in Cleveland.
But is she the one that goes, Todd? Or a different one?
Because that's not hot.
I was going to say, that sounds...
Book her, Blake. I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jake Kim.
I'm Blake Jones.
And it's a Friday live streaming on Patreon only edition of the Dumb Zone. So if you are a subby,
a patron,
Prish.
Thank you.
And yeah, we're not giving this to the masses. It's only you. And then later we'll cut it down a little bit into the audio form only. Take out the big long break because it's a live stream, so we take one break and then we'll take the camera and follow Blake into the bathroom, see why he takes so long in there.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Rob already set up the cam in there, like we were hoping he would.
I did see it in there. Very jarring.
Two sleeps, guys.
Till truck day?
2 sleeps till the DZRV.
Baby.
Almost forgot. Almost forgot my own acronym.
And Dan started packing 2 weeks ago, so he should probably be done by now.
I should, but I'm not.
Have you started?
What do you think?
No?
No.
Yeah, I won't start till Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And I have to pack for my trip.
Oh, yeah.
On the back end,
pack
too.
for 2.
I'm going to be doing laundry in California.
Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, but you've seen me since then.
Oh.
You did. He just wanted us to tell him he looks great with his haircut.
Thanks for noticing.
What a lady.
But I know what you're doing. You're getting squared away before the trip.
Yeah.
I am planning on the head shave.
There you go.
Tomorrow. So it's nice and fresh and good for 2 or 3 days.
I probably did mine too early. It was last Saturday.
Way too early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to get it right before. I'm even going to shower tomorrow. Didn't shower last night.
When's the last time you showered?
The previous night. What was last night? Was Thursday?
You showered Wednesday night?
Yeah.
That's super weird.
Well, today's Friday.
Will you at least go every other day on the trip?
That's what I'm doing right here. And you guys are yelling at me.
Yeah, but if you do every other day at home, there's a chance that you get a little loosey-goosey.
I might do every day on the trip because my home shower sucks. I love,
What's wrong with it?
I love going on the road. Just the water pressure.
Oh.
You know what I
we live
noticed?
at the end of a line.
Bathtub.
In the Airbnb?
Yeah.
You're going to use that disgusting thing?
Are you kidding me?
You're calling me the lady.
I'm bringing bubble bath boys.
I had an email.
You know, pack your bath bombs?
I've been going. I might.
Candles.
Been looking at that. I've been scoping the Airbnb hard.
Got an email that we should call the Dumb Zone RV. It's the Dumb Zone RV Dallas Cowboys training camp road trip, which would be the DZRV DCTCRT.
No, we let you get away with the first one, and I believe we're gonna.
You printed that email out?
For the DZRV. That got me thinking, how many letters in the alphabet just rhyme with D? It just feels like every letter is D, Z, R, V, C.
R doesn't.
T.
Well, all those other letters also rhyme with D on their own, so you're basically just describing the sound of a long E.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is one of the basics of.
Isn't it weird that that's how many? That
No.
most of the alphabet is like that? No?
No.
Oh.
No, not at all.
I have gotten a lot of advice about Amarillo, though.
By morning?
Because we're going to head through Amarillo.
I like that.
What do you mean, really? Get used
I
to
like
it.
that.
We got 2 weeks. Amarillo, where I'll be.
I'm happy to not even understand what you guys are doing.
You want to do a little country Sunday when we leave?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's make Dan regret every second of this.
Eric says, I am the at least one subscriber in Amarillo. He would like to meet us. In fact, he said, let's see, did he say he'd buy us lunch? He said he'd buy us lunch.
Okay.
We are not in a position to turn that down.
Yeah. How about a nice home-cooked meal, Eric Clinton?
Yeah.
Why don't you invite us over?
See what your wife's
You
up
got a
to.
pool? Yeah. Let's see. A couple other, let's see, Dear Gash Cap Willie.
Okay. All right.
Guy wants to give us some recs. He recently drove to SoCal from Dallas. He said driving across Texas is easily the biggest beating of the whole trip. If you stop in Amarillo, be sure to eat at the Big Texas Steakhouse.
Oh, that's the famous one.
Yeah. That's the 72-ouncer?
Yeah, if you can eat put the 72 away, then you get it for free.
He said maybe the Cadillac Ranch. Outside of that, the area of Texas from Dallas to New Mexico is shit.
I've done it like 25 times, and I can concur.
Yeah.
At some point near the border, everything smells like cow poo-poo for about a 10-mile span.
I would say it starts before that.
Really?
Yeah. You could. I feel like on the way to Lubbock, you get that before you even get to Lubbock.
He says there's nothing you can do about it.
We weren't planning to.
Were you planning on bringing like
spray Febreze?
That's why you had no terror at all.
That's right.
Garcia's in Albuquerque is a great place to get New Mexican food as well as the best queso I've ever had in my life. Go to the one on Central Avenue. It's the original. So can we plan that for dinner?
Yeah.
They close at 8.
Oh.
So we're going to have to make good time.
We'll be there plenty early. We're leaving at like 2 in the morning because of these idiots.
I don't know if we're going to be there.
What time are we leaving?
7.
Because Rob's like, oh, man. Let's
Which
go
means you need to be there for load-in by
they want to
6:30.
get there at 3 p.m. and then go do sightsee. Like, I'm not going to sightsee. I'm going to go to bed.
Will you be on the RV at 7?
Yeah.
With all your stuff?
Yeah, I might go to sleep on it. It's going to be...
Not a bad idea.
No,
we're originating from my house.
You're definitely going to go to sleep on it. We don't have to do a show that day.
No, I mean like the night before.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
not
then
a bad
you guys
idea.
just leave and I'm not up yet.
You'll be very hot. You could sleep in the RV in California. I don't know that is a great idea here, but hell,
We're loading.
you're going to be in a bad mood anyways. You might as well start the night before.
We're loading in. We're taking off. He's still playing Immaculate Grid and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a sleep mask on.
Duolingo.
Wordle. If you have time, go by the Four Corners Monument. You know what that is?
Yeah. I assume, you know.
It is the spot in the U.S. where you could be in 4 states at once.
Yep.
Is that on our route?
I don't
That
think
seems
so.
pretty north of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we want stuff on our route.
Okay, so it says about 9 to 10 hours to Albuquerque. So it depends on how long we stop for lunch, but I do think we can be there in time to hit this Garcia's place. And if anybody wants to join me,
Yeah.
We'll be there by 6 p.m.
Yeah,
there's an Albuquerque ghost tour at 8 o'clock that I looked into.
Oh.
Also, some kick-ass Native
Rob's probably
Americans
down.
sell handmade souvenirs there, which is something to think about while you're taking selfies on their land that our government murdered them to get, then as a make-good gave them back the tiniest undesirable locations.
Yeah, well,
That's from Pants DJ 69.
unfortunately, that kind of applies to the entire United States. So
Yeah.
what are we doing?
So we could take a selfie right where we are now
Yeah,
and say, yeah, we once stole this from
sure.
the natives.
Yeah, I think we need to look. You need to have all your stuff over there. I might even come over on Saturday and just scope the scene.
Yeah, we're all doing Rob and Matt are driving the RV
Yeah.
Saturday. It'll be there by 11:30ish.
kind of want to let the kids see it.
And then you want to pack up or, load up some stuff early. Well, you're not even going to pack until Saturday night, so.
This is true. But I'd like to come see it.
But maybe we can outfit it. Raymond is sending us some training camp banners today. They'll be at my house. So
I bought us a new tent.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Mine was raggedy.
Well, I got some stuff. I don't know what. I was going to let Rob look at it when he comes over. Because I don't know what I got. Rob's like a man.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like he knows guy stuff.
I know. You can always
Why it's
tell
so
how much
embarrassing.
of a man someone is by how many stickers there are on their cooler. Trust me. I can prove this.
My cooler, no stickers.
If you have stickers from places like, for example,
I have the sale sticker.
For example,
10 years ago when I bought it. Yeah.
Rob would have never been confused when he saw the name of a place in Utah where people go hike and call it Moab.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Was that me?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was someone else.
No.
Yeah, we took calls.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's got he's an outdoorsman.
Yeah, and he always wants to do stuff. That's what's bothering me about this whole trip.
Ghost tour.
All these people want to do things.
I'm going to pre-say that I'm probably not going out like at night at all.
Excellent. Then I won't feel like the only one.
Yeah. Blake will go with you, Rob. Dinner, whatever, but there's a hot tub.
And a bath calling your name.
Whew. Whew.
And they don't block the porn there. So I'm just going to be
Dude, as soon as we hit New Mexico, he's just going to be
gonna be
disappearing
all
into
over.
that
Hey,
bedroom.
Guys, I'm getting a little tired. I'm going to go to the back bunk.
Be in the back of the van.
Volume all the way up. He's
You
missed
can
it so
buy
much.
pot and they don't block porn. It's the only reason we're doing this.
He may not come back.
Yeah.
I'd love
I
to
didn't
stay
have
out there.
sex with a porn star.
All right, I'm going to tell you guys about what I did this morning, okay? So we are transitioning from the Montessori school for preschool to the real kindergarten school. And yes, because I am committed to the show, I am missing the first day of kindergarten. which sucks. But
What's that, next week?
Wednesday, yeah. My original plan was, my trip was I was going to leave on Thursday, so I'd at least be there for the first day. But then when camp came a-calling, camp comes a-calling. So
She'll never remember it, and she won't care, right?
I don't know.
Unless you make a big deal about it and make her care.
Yeah.
They are what we project upon them.
I do have a picture of me on my first day with my mom, and I don't think I remember it. I think I just remember that photo, but there will be a photo, and I won't be in it.
That's true. We do have a cardboard cutout of you we could put there.
The Rangers one?
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. So in preparation for the start of kindergarten on August 14th, we had I would call it like an orientation this morning. So you take her there right around 9 o'clock, and then the kid goes off into the other part of the school where all the other kids are, and they're getting ready. I think this is where they probably separate them into classes. And that goes until noon. And then in the cafeteria at 9:30, there is like a parent orientation. Now, a couple things. I have not been in an elementary school in quite some time. The last time I was in an elementary school was when, not a big deal, but I was doing a little charity work when I was volunteering at a library in Fort Worth. And I will say, probably evidenced by the fact they needed volunteers in the library, it was a pretty beaten down area.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my reading lessons didn't go all that well because we spoke different languages. But they needed help, and I went there once a week for like a year. I'd seen the school that Nora's going to from the outside, but I had never been. Oh! A bunch of stuff just fell off your.
Something fall?
All the hats and your case of beer.
Oh, from behind me? Okay.
Yeah. I'd never been inside this school, and it is insane.
What do you mean? Like nice?
Crazy nice. Especially like a public school. It's canon. It must be brand new. And it is, I could not believe what I was seeing. It looks like a small version of a college. The open area, the light where all the books are. It's a STEM school, right? So they've got all sorts they have 3D printers and like a little lab.
I don't know what STEM means.
Science, technology, something, and math.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? Engineering and math, yeah. So they're leaning into the science thing. But it's a regular school. You don't have to pay extra to go there, but we're zoned for it. And it's very, very impressive. Now, I took notes the whole time because my wife had to leave for a call, so I worked in some of my own notes. In the cafeteria, which is not a traditional cafeteria, where you would think like big, long tables, there are tables that would only seat 6 kids. There's 3 on each side, and they scatter those about. So that's kind of a little different model. In that room, I wanted to take a picture, but I didn't feel like I could do it without looking creepy. They had the banner for each branch of the military hung up.
Space Force?
Space Force. Now, what's funny about it, I'm glad you asked. It is clear. Kind of like when you're writing a sentence, when you're a kid or you're writing like a card or something, and you realize that you ran out of space towards the end and you kind of have to like curve it and like force it in there. It's very clear the Space Force, they didn't move the other banners to space it out. No pun intended. They just threw a shitty Space Force banner up there, and it looks way more beaten than the other ones, even though it's newer. And it looks just thrown up there. It's barely hanging on. But even without the Space Force thing, I just thought that was weird.
Yes.
I'm like, so at lunch every day,
But then again, we've always said it's weird, like to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, and there's a lot of "In God We Trust" posters in the school, which I didn't know you could do. I have some more notes on that later in the news.
It might be mandatory now.
It might be.
Yeah, where you live.
So, yeah, that's one thing. That was a little bit weird. But then when 9:30 hits and it's time for the principal, and I'm going to, again, pre-say, very sweet lady. Very sweet lady. She was on 11 out of 10 today. Like, her mic was too loud and overmodulated, and yet she was still yelling. And I had this like...
She was just all fired up, you mean?
Way too much caffeine.
Uh-huh.
Age?
I would say like late 50s.
We're all thinking it.
You gotta work a while to become a principal. You're not going to get your
Yeah, but if she's 31, makes sense.
She was fired up, very high energy, was talking a million miles an hour. She was yelling. And I had this like brief like twinge in my brain of like, I'm back in school. Like that's what it felt like. I hadn't felt
Were
that.
there kids or was it just
This is just parents.
Okay.
Other than a couple, people who had their
Did
babies.
you have to
in there
walk
that
her
would-
schedule? Well, probably there's only one room, kindergarten.
Yeah, she's yeah.
Like I used to go pre, and you had to walk their schedule.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
You'd walk.
But she was just really, really hyped up.
Okay.
And she was yelling, and she's like, again, when I say you pull in this way in the line, your kid gets out on what side?
Oh, okay.
And a few people are like, this is passenger
She's
side.
quizzing you?
She wanted call and response. Like she's LL Cool J up there. Like when I say, I'm like, dude, we got it. You got a graph up here.
And you're
Like,
writing notes, so you were getting it great.
I took a picture of the map. Like she was standing in front of obviously like a projector and had a PowerPoint.
She's going to be very frustrated because day one there'll be guys coming in the wrong side there, and
yeah,
Of course.
yeah. I mean, it was so over the top, man. And at one point, she tried to put her glasses on, like her readers, I guess, so that she could see her computer rather than just pointing at the screen. And she was like, can't get them on. I'm sweaty. I'm hot. And I'm like, well, what are you, Jimmy Tango?
This is
Jim
like her
Carrey
day.
from SNL? I'm like, you got to ratchet
big
it
day
down
for her there.
a little bit. And yeah, the first thing she did when she came out, she's like, when I say cannon, I want you to say Cubs rule or something like that.
Really?
And I'm just like, dude, this is the ghost tour on steroids.
So they're the
Tim
Cannon
Robinson
Cubs?
Tim Robinson ghost tour. So that was wild. Way too much energy. And I will tell you, I ran into a listener, a lady listener. Her name is Ashley. She
Okay.
came up afterward and she was like, I don't want to be weird, but Dumb Zone, right? And I'm like, shh, we don't talk about Dumb Zone. Rule number 1 of Dumb Zone is we don't talk. And rule number 2 is we don't talk. So I was like, yeah. I was like, hey, can you just like be cool if I talk about how over the top this lady was today? And she's like, dude.
Like, don't tell them.
She was like, because I think she has another kid there.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, she's very sweet, but she's always like that. I'm like, just don't say anything. Like, let's just keep this little secret between us, Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope she's cooler than dudes that listen to us.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Because dudes will run right to my wife. Even remember that when I had, in fact, she still will bring it up to this day.
Yeah, what was it?
It was when I was secretly recording her. Because if she sees a microphone or something, she clams up. Certain people are like...
As do most.
Yeah, and I can't remember what the topic matter was, but, it was something for the show. It was something that's helping build the house. And... Because I'll secretly record my daughters, and it's funny. And then so I secretly recorded her. And then, pre-playing it on the air, I said, hey, she doesn't know I did this, and she'd be mad if she did know. And then, yeah, she comes home later that night. So-and-so at work told me that they heard me. They heard my opinion on something. Where'd you do that?
Yeah, real cool, dude, because
that's breaking the trust.
You know what happened then? We never got funny audio from Dan's wife again. I remember the audio being hilarious.
That's true.
And somebody was like, well, why don't I ruin this for, hey, teacher, do we have homework?
Because then she made me, vow.
Yeah, and you're
like,
not...
I had never vowed and promised before that I wouldn't.
Yeah, but
and
now...
that was my excuse. You never said...
couldn't.
Yeah.
We've never been over this before.
Right.
And
but
then,
now...
yes, now we are going over it. And she said, you have to promise me from this day on.
Narcs.
And so I did.
Oh, you were going to tell her that you were getting a monkey.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. We had to adopt a monkey for like a month for a bit or something.
Yeah.
And it's going to stay here in the house.
Yeah.
She's like, it'll just poo all over it. I'm like, no, it'll be cool.
No,
it's a good monkey.
Obviously, I knew that this existed because one of the house shows we did with Wired Will in his rent house after his house burned down, possibly from wires, that was mostly a dad's club. And they got us the Mesa drawing with the Tex-Mex restaurant next to an empty office space with a 9/11 memorial in front of it. My buddy Phil's in that dad's club. That's a different elementary in the same district. And those guys were getting down. It looked fun, But the guy approached me today, and he's like, hey, I just got to get your email for Dad's Club. And I'm like sitting next to my wife, and I know she wants me to probably at least like engage with this guy. Because if it would have just been me, I would have been like, that's not really me, man. And just ended it there.
Would you ever give a fake email? I might do that.
Well, again, she was sitting next to me. So she would have sniffed that out pretty quick.
What do you do at this Dad's Club?
I do Blake.Jones.
So it's not that the idea of the Dad's Club is bad. It's that as a disgraced possible pedophilia rapper Drake once said, no new friends. I'm too old. Most of my friends I met either between the age of 12 and 16, and I still see them all the time now. Our kids hang out. Or it's people I met through work. You guys, TC, Machine, Blind Josh, KJ, like guys I go on trips with. But I don't need another. Like they meet at the pizza place once a month. And the big deal they do is.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
You don't have to go. But the big deal they do is at the Christmas parade in Grapevine, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
If you remember, the guys at the remote told us, they were like, we go all out for this. You know, it's a huge competition between dads' clubs. And they do look awesome. And, you know, you can't.
But you don't want to be a part of it.
What am I going to do with a saw?
Yeah, so now you'll have to show up and.
Yeah, look like.
Out.
Yeah, I mean, that's just,
so
not me.
It's not like, hey, if you want to be in the Dad's Club, come sign up your email. It's you're in the Dad's Club because you're a dad.
Yeah, and you're going to get the emails. And, I mean, there was a time when I was
sexist.
somewhat handy with like a drill, table saw, circular saw, jigsaw, but I haven't done that in 20 years. So I'm not these guys. So
well, you're more of an idea man. You can do that.
Yeah, but I also don't really like Christmas.
Yeah.
So really everything is working against my participation there.
This is the same battle with like church, right? You meet people at church. Hey, let's meet up.
Yeah,
Let's make
but
a
I'm not
group,
gonna.
And let's share our problems.
I'm not.
And that's
gonna,
what some people are there.
I go to
for
therapy
that.
for that.
Like they want that.
They want community, and
Hello.
especially because a lot of people did not grow up here, especially over like the last 10, 15 years.
Right. So I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
They're trying to make new friends.
Yeah,
It's a very transient area.
Kristen will hang out with the Montessori moms. Like they're doing something tonight, even though none of them are in Montessori anymore.
What are they doing?
Well, I don't know, but I know that it does not involve me having freedom from both hellions. So that's why I didn't come in here with a bounce in my step.
But it's still freedom.
No, it's not.
From the wife.
There is no freedom when you have both of them together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She might come home all loosey-goosey.
Perhaps.
That's a bonus, yeah.
The other thing that the Dad's Club does is they help with the line on Friday to pick up and drop off. I guess it's just drop off.
Oh, so now you have to be the guy that's out there with a flag or something?
Yeah, and honestly, you're taking your kid to school anyways. You just have to be there like 20 minutes early. So
Yeah, you got a show to prep for.
Yeah.
it's at 7:25. Like I'm up at actually woke up at like 4:30 randomly today.
You got to lie to him.
Well, here's
Can't
the
do
thing.
it, dude.
If all I have to do is show up 20 minutes early, I was thinking, whatever, I'll help out with that. All you got to do is stand there, give the teachers a break. Seems like the easiest thing I could do because I'm already there to seem like I'm participating. But then the guy said, we just kind of direct the cars, hand out high fives and smiles. And I'm like, well, I don't do either one. I'll do either one of those things. So if you want like me to stand out there with my AirPods
Plus, you're
in,
going to be the guy having to enforce yelling principal's rules. And
Yeah,
you're going to
they
come in,
probably
you're going to
don't
be all
want that either.
frustrated because people aren't following the rules, and now you have to be like a cop.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too.
This is all going to work out very poorly.
She
And
said,
you're going to be stoic, and they're going to want to see your cub energy.
yeah, and I don't have that,
How about a smile?
No, that's just not. That's just not. That's not me.
Monday. It's Monday. Just look at Jake.
It's Friday.
No, I'm just saying that
Oh.
day you're going to be.
Oh,
They're going to
yeah,
tell
coming
on
back
Monday
in.
you're going to be kind of in a bad mood.
Yeah, and she did detail, and I'm sure everybody who has kids that are in elementary school know this, but she talked about the car line like it was fucking Normandy. She's like, once you're in it, she's like, it's hectic.
To
She's
those
like,
teachers, it is.
people yell. She's like, I get mad emails about other parents. She's like, I don't want to have to get an email about you. She's like, it's dangerous out
So
there.
are you going to be you have to get there 25 minutes early, which means you have to take your kid 25 minutes early.
School's open. You can go in and get a breakfast for free.
What, for free? Breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think so.
We always had to pay.
Maybe you do have to pay, but it's like $1.50 for the breakfast. It's probably just like a muffin. They're not back there whipping up an omelet. So I could see doing that just so that I can placate wife and potentially like look like I'm helping out a little bit, but that's about as far as I'm going. And if anybody asks for a high five, I'm going to hit him with a too slow.
The future of Jake, man, he's going to be at
crying.
He's going to be at football games, handing out the waters.
Oh, you think he's going to embrace
He'll be
it?
like band dad. No, he'll just get he won't embrace it, but he gets roped into these things. You
I don't
don't
know.
understand how to say no.
That could be true.
You don't want to be known as the bad guy.
But I also don't
Being known as the bad guy helps sometimes.
have a lot of time. That's the thing. You know, if I did have time, I'd be beating Blake up in NCAA 25. Don't have it.
Man,
I love my kids too much to just take time away from them.
That's such bullshit.
Oh, one other thing. So they were talking about like the different options. Like, okay, if you take the bus, you know, here's where you'll enter. You know, go over here. If you drop off, passenger side, driver side, etc. And they started talking about kids who walk because it's right in the heart of a neighborhood. We couldn't walk there even from our normal house, but it's, you know, I'm sure there are kids who do. And maybe some of them walk with their parents, right? You're 6 years old. You can walk in with your parents if you live a street or two over. And like old people in a college class, there were 4 or 5 people who felt the need to ask questions about things that had clearly already been covered. One of those people, though, was a child. Must attend the school, but he's older, right? He appeared to be like he was in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. And he must have had a sibling that was entering kindergarten. And he was like, he raised his hand and he's like, hey, so if you're a kid who walks, he's like, which one of these 2 spots up here would be best based on which way you would be coming from? And he had a question with the map up there. And she's like, he took a long time to ask it because he's a kid. And then she said, oh, okay, well, what street do you live on so I can figure out where your drop-off zone for walking would be? He's like, oh, I don't walk.
He just wanted to know.
I was like, you nerd. What are you doing?
Kind of funny.
She's like, thank you. That is something I should have clarified. And I'm like, no, you already did.
Oh, he's a plant.
Yeah, I felt like it. I don't know. This is a very surreal experience to be going to. Because the Montessori, dude, it's so chill. It's very small. You know.
Did you consider leaving her in there through high school or something? You know, some
No.
people do that.
No, I know they do, but no.
I considered
very,
it.
very expensive.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. I considered that because it just seemed like their theory for things were good. And some kids will just go through like early grade school and then middle school they go to regular schools or
Yeah, I think one reason
some kids just take to it better. You know, some kids need the structure. My kid number 1 needed the structure of public school.
I think my son will
Where I
need
think
that.
kid number 2, I think could have done well at Montessori, but
Part of the reason why
we'll never know.
I was comfortable with it is because of the unique nature of this elementary. You know, even if they were describing it today, I thought this is not that far off from Montessori with some of the like applied learning and letting them figure stuff out on their own. And, you know, it's not like just a rote thing.
So that's
where
what
they
the
just
STEM
recite.
school, the difference?
I guess so. Yeah. But anyway, shout out to listener Ashley and the principal because I had not been back in that space of like, man, I wish somebody would stop yelling at me right now in a long time. I mean, even our boss didn't really yell at us that much.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all
feel good?
I was going to say, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I felt great.
Feel like
Feeling submissive.
The coach. We have a little bit of sports. We probably don't want to do Olympic yet, right? We have Sarah Hepola is joining us in a little while. She has a new article out that is interesting to us. You know what? I might like to do some viewer mail, though.
Okay.
Because I did some earlier.
I just did it again.
What's that?
Okay.
that your new thing?
Well, no, I didn't think it was until Jameson made a whole song out of it.
What is on the run sheet, guys?
Okay. 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 Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Here they
Okay.
are.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I see
Okay.
today in
Okay.
Twitter.
Okay.
Do you want to
Okay.
do you want to save certain stuff for Sarah?
I'd like to talk women's boxing with her.
Okay,
outside
but
of
this
that-
today in Twitter stuff not needed?
No.
Sarah? Okay, so we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
I'm just trying to look at...
Dang it.
It's okay to say okay. Don't let everybody get in your head. Just be you. The same jackass you've always been.
Thanks, man.
Uncle Hotmail. This is going to be some yay boos in this email, my friend. But I'm going to lead off with it.
Why not?
Because she asked me to. I like ladies telling me what to do. Let's see. I've been considering for weeks what to write, with Jake recently calling my 8-year-old hot.
Okay, that is not what happened.
And then he got re-roasted for it days later on her brother's birthday as well. It seemed unfair to continue to write in for birthdays for our family. So she had been thinking, should I request a shout-out for their dad? The dad is the one who was would send in an email shout-out. What was it, Eleanor?
I simply said that it sounded like a hot name. What I should have said elegant, and I did not know that the child was a child, Your Honor.
So she says about the dad, he's a P1 in the truest form. He's never actually been a DF. He rides the coattails of my subscription. Because without him, I'd never have found you in the first place, so I was the one to buy my way into the fold. Okay, so this is a one-subby household.
Waiting for the boo. It feels like it's coming.
I struggled to find a way to surprise him. Because how do you determine a leader when every other sentence is a drop? And you can't just ask him without it being a giveaway. So she says her idea was to not be so secretive. She was going to leave the real surprise that the fact she managed to secure 2 of the last 3 tickets for our Ranger game.
Okay.
In September.
Oh, wow. We sold out.
What a sweet wife.
She says, at least then I knew I'd say the right things. Friday, July 26th, all my worries about the perfect birthday wish came crashing down as Benton and Eleanor's dad, Russ, passed away suddenly on family vacation. I think we're at the boo. The perfect shout-outs he sent for them will be treasures always. Keep doing what you do, guys. It's important. I'll be here listening. That'll be a little harder for a while. I'll see you all at the ballpark. From Nani.
Nani, I'd like to give you a big hug.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to give her a high five and a smile.
That's your lane.
Maybe
Okay.
a fist bump. And
That's awful.
That is a boo, Nani.
Truly awful. Why don't we
but
comp
yeah.
or subby?
What's that?
Why don't we comp or subby? It's the least we can do.
Ooh.
Did you want to launch into your
What
bit
if we
now
bought her
about
a,
which person's worse off, the remaining widow or the?
I think I don't think this is the time.
Yeah, okay.
But I think I feel really bad for the dude.
I feel really bad for her.
And the kids.
I feel very bad for them, but I feel really bad for him.
I mean, yeah,
'Cause
I
he's the one
suppose
who's not here anymore.
Yeah, but then you're just not here, and you get to be done with all this.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyways,
what if he's haunting people at a ghost store? Yeah. Anyways, now, will you please give my homegirl Megan Belchef a birthday shout out on Friday? It is her birthday. By proxy, she's a listener. Her man is a DFD1. In fact, in the near future, I think you will be at his bar, St. Valentine, for a remote. Love you long time. Have fun in Oxnard. This is from BL. That's a more fun email.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We will be there.
Day 1 DF number 52, Brad Buckles, birthday. He said, I love the Dumb Zone. I admit it. I love the Dumb Zone. Saturday is my Steven Jackson birthday, former Rams running back.
39.
Okay.
Oregon State.
Oregon State for sure. And also passed over for Julius Jones by Bill Parcells. Steven Jackson had a much better career.
Parcells drafted Julius Jones?
Yes. I'm almost positive of that.
Oh, I'm thinking of Felix Jones. That was certainly a Jerry.
Yeah.
Leaders are the Underwear Olympics and Giants head coach Brian Daboll, who is my spiritual advisor, personal trainer, and weight loss consultant. More Dingu, more Halo theme song.
I can make that happen.
And then he said, quick story, I was in Albuquerque a few years ago, can confirm Walter Whitehouse is disappointing at best, mostly due to the insane owner. But you should check out the Breaking Bad store. Some other landmarks like Hank's House and the hot dog restaurant are okay, but the entire experience is underwhelming. So your best course of action is to keep on driving, from Brad.
Okay.
But we're staying there, so we don't have to worry about it.
Oh.
Okay.
Dear Uncle Muff Diver.
Jeez. That's such a your uncle when you were a kid term. Yeah. Little muff diver.
My birthday is Sunday. I had a hilarious bit about my age using the numbers of obscure players and trigonometry. Anyway.
Trigonometry.
But Jake's incessant dismissive comments have sucked the joy out of it, so forget it.
Mission accomplished.
More monthly Blake book reports. Well, that's what we were doing, the monthly business review. I'm just asking you guys.
Yeah, well, we thought
what's on the run sheet today, and you had nothing.
Well,
I don't know, nothing.
No, we talked about it. We thought you were going to go to it right after the open.
I'm looking at it, and it's on the run sheet.
Talked about it.
I just audibly said, what do we have on the run sheet? What should we get to?
You said, do you want to do sports?
And you guys are like,
I said I wanted
you didn't
to
say
boxing.
a goddamn thing.
I said I wanted to save boxing talk for Sarah,
and I'm
which
thinking,
is what we
well,
talked
what do we
about.
have before Sarah? I don't even know. I guess I'll do email.
We can do NBR
because you
after
didn't
viewer
say
mail.
anything.
Well, we talked about it at like 11:45.
I know, but I just forgot it and asked you out loud.
But if you were looking at the run sheet, it's right underneath viewer mail.
I asked you a question.
I don't remember you saying what else do we
And you sat there
have.
staring ahead like AJ Hawk.
You said, what do we want to do now? Do we want to do sports? I
So I
said we'll
picked up
save
the
it for
stack of
Sarah.
email.
I thought it was curious
And it's
when you
going
did
great.
that. And I looked at Blake, and Blake looked at me.
Why wouldn't you say anything?
Well, we thought because we talked about it and put it on the thing that it was. But whatever.
Anyway, he says more monthly Blake book reports on Olympics, less monthly retellings of the time Dan met Dominic Robinson, and Olympics.
Monthly.
And this is from Dave. He says, throw a moose on that poos.
It is the weekend.
This is your Mexican Tonto Jodido.
I don't think Tonto was Mexican, though.
But he's saying it's a Mexican Tonto.
Okay.
A different Tonto.
All right.
I want to wish my little bro Yayo a happy birthday. I'm trying to get him to subscribe, so this might help. His heroes are Barn Owl Tortilla and Quincy Carter's voicemail. If he doesn't subscribe, I'll gift him a year.
Oh.
Muchas gracias from Pollito.
Hop aboard, Yayo.
And I have Good Day Uncle Hotmail. Shout out to my oldest son, Jacob. It is his younger brother while playing second grade flag football for the Anna Coyotes' birthday. Or Stefan Diggs with the Bills. His leaders are Dan's pronunciation of sandwiches, Jake's pronunciation of civilians, and every single effing thing about Blake. Please, whatever you do, do not mention he was conceived while I was moosing his mother.
Boy, an early adopter, an innovator.
From a real day one DF.
I got one from Chris. If we're gonna dog Blake for his taste, we're gonna have to read the positive ones too. I'm listening to Lindsey Sterling while working. Holy shit, this is good.
Yep.
I like instrumental electronic music. Focus on when I work. This is perfect. And then he ended it with, I look forward to listening to this while on drugs. But that's his business. And then Garrett, in his everlasting battle with Blake.
Another one?
What's this guy again?
He's a doctor that I've known for a long time, and he noticed Lindsey Sterling being the music during the floor routine in the gymnastics. Blake volleyed back like, well, yeah, why are you watching women's gymnastics? He volleyed back and said, well, I was watching it with my now wife, and she said she loves Lindsey Sterling. It was the last concert she went to before they got started dating. Blake basically said the same thing. Why are you watching women's gymnastics? And Garrett, I'm not going to read the whole email, but simply wants to know that if things break right for Brooks, and he is one day in the Olympics, and he decides to use Lindsey Sterling, will you take issue with Garrett cheering on little Brooks in the men's gymnastics 20 years from now?
No.
Okay. You were not going to, because it's men?
He's just supporting my kid.
Okay.
That's a great point.
I got two more quickies. Sleeping sitch is the subject line. My wife and I recently bought a new house. You gave her a birthday shout out. You may remember she turned 6 birdies, 10 pars, and 2 eagles using the Stableford scoring system.
Okay, that one's good.
Let's say the house we purchased has 5 bedrooms. It has allowed us to have our own place to sleep, each one of us. So they have separate bedrooms, he's saying. I can report this is a game changer. I snore and have at least one potty break a night. She likes to stay up later than I do watching murder porn, and she's a light sleeper. Sex is a bit more transactional and less spontaneous, but the checks still cash and we are both sleeping better. I want to let you know dreams do come true from Rhett.
Congrats,
A127.
It might also be kind of cool to get that feeling again of like if you do share some intimacy and then you just fall asleep there as one is wont to do. And in the morning, you kind of get to relive the walk of shame.
Yeah, like sneak out.
God, you got one sock on.
Yeah. Gather those.
Got a phone charger in here somewhere. I'll leave it.
Or the walk to the bedroom, like,
yeah.
Hey, I was just thinking if you want to
text.
Maybe you lay in bed. Maybe you lay in bed and text for a little while, right?
Yeah.
You up text?
Yeah. Damn, this actually sounds fire.
That actually would be fun.
Maybe send a little D pic.
And
you're just across the hall. I love it.
Happy Pizza Friday to my low T leader. Can you play the All the Way Up in the Air audio from the Nickelodeon NFL broadcast a few years ago? I've scoured the internet. I cannot find it. I found myself saying it aloud to my wife's confusion this week during the synchronized diving when they jump off the platform. See you in Cleveland for the Cowboys game from Blake McCarter.
Yeah, we do need to firm up some details there. I've been getting a lot of emails on the Clee trip.
So this was when Nickelodeon broadcast a game?
This was
and they have like little kids?
Yeah, their first one.
Yeah, Nick Burleson and then some Nickelodeon kid.
Nate Burleson.
And
Noah Eagle.
Noah Eagle.
Okay.
And Gabby something.
Here's Gabby.
Your name.
4th down, either they're going to kick the ball or they're going to punt it. And I think you're going to be impressed with what Mordstead does here.
All right, I'm going to keep an eye out. Oh! All the way up in the air.
And that is a fair catch that is made.
There you go. Request answered.
David Montgomery's favorite ice cream flavor? Vanilla.
Vanilla. Yeah, that was the fun fact they had on David Montgomery.
The Nickelodeon MVP for that game, Mitchell Trubisky.
Yes, in a losing effort, I believe.
Who probably threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah. Hey, since I don't know if we have time to do NBR right now, something you said.
Oh, we have plenty of time.
Okay, well, something you said earlier made me think of something I wanted to bring to the studio. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this on where you can see it on camera, but this has been in my house for a long time, and I put it in my bag to bring up here. You said, hey, all you can be is you, when we were talking a minute ago.
That's right. Just the kick-ass guy.
And it reminded me I had this in my bag. This is a story that I told many years ago on It's Just Banter with TC. And It was before Taco Bell discontinued the Mexican pizza. Of course, they've now brought it back.
Not the same.
It's close enough. It's close enough. So it was one night, I think it was maybe either before kids or I only had one and she was asleep and my wife was gone for some reason. And I, of course, hit the delivery app and got myself a couple Mexican pizzas delivered. And, the guy, I tipped him or whatever, he left. And I can't remember, I don't think he said it in person. I think he texted it to me. But he was a real, energetic guy at midnight. He was like a real wiry dude. And, I sent him his tip afterward, and he texted me, and he was like, thanks, man. And I was like, no problem. And then he sent this sentence. You can do anything, but the best thing you can do is do you. And he signed the text, Pilot Beezy. I guess that's what he calls himself. I've never had an inspirational text sent to me by a food delivery driver.
Right.
You can do anything, but the best thing you can do, or it's be you. The best thing you can do is be you. And he signed it Pilot Beezy. And then once upon a time, TC's wife was so entertained by this story that she made me like a little cloth that has a Mexican pizza on it with the quote on it. And I've had this I've carried this around with me.
And then you pull it out if you need inspiration.
Little motivation, yeah. I would keep it in my car.
From a delivery driver.
Yeah, and then Megan made it for me, or had it made. I'm not sure, but
that's beautiful.
Now I want to put it over there with Cameron Brink. And Pilot Beezy, what a cool name. He's just floating
and
through
you've
the
never
city.
run into him again?
No. I wish I could.
He's just out there.
Yeah, just
giving inspiration.
A man of the night, just delivering crispy,
does he know
meaty
how much...
Mexican pizzas?
Right. He double yay. That's a yay.
Yeah. Shout out Pilot Beezy.
All right.
It's that time of the
Okay,
month.
he's got it now, Blake.
It's time for the Dumb Zone's monthly business review. And now, the king of all note takers, here's Blake Jones.
Thank you, voice man. A big month to recap in July. Got a lot of notes from the show, got some audio that I'd like to intertwine. But as always, let's start with things Dan or Jake want. And let's go back to the very first of the month when we were at the VFW. Jake said he wants a street named after him. And I don't know what you're going to do to get that, but I'd love to see Kemp Lane.
The easiest way I can think of today is become president of the Dads Club. But other than that, I don't know. I'd probably have to save somebody from certain death, and I don't even know if that would do it. Maybe I could become mayor, and they would just rename William D. Tate.
If you get killed.
That might do it.
Yeah.
But it'd probably depend on how.
Right. No, it has to be.
You can't just be like, oh, you got a car accident.
Maybe a cop shoots you, but
unjustly.
Because they're going to their wrong address or something.
That has, in the past, proven to be pretty effective.
Yeah, it's worked. Or if you were a leader from the past, but you're not that.
Yeah, but most of them got shot too.
Yeah. Or if something was done unjustly to you. Well, I guess now, and I was thinking MLK, but of course, yeah, he got shot.
Malcolm X.
But I think Bob Jones Park in Southlake is Bob Jones was a former slave or something, or some kind of civil rights guy. I don't know. I think.
The point is, it's unlikely. I'd rather have Pilot Beezy's lane. If I'm being honest, he deserves it.
On July 16th, I think you did a story in the news, Jake, where maybe somebody in Lubbock, they saved an owl with a tortilla.
I don't remember that at all.
An owl fell in their pool or something, and then they rescued it and laid it in a tortilla and saved it somehow. And then we discovered that it's illegal to have owl feathers.
Yeah, now I do remember this, yeah.
July 16th, Dan wants an owl feather.
It's only because they said I can't have one. I don't really want one.
July 17th, Jake wants to meet Rose, which needs to happen in Cleveland.
He will.
Would you go see Fast 10 with her or whatever?
I would go see anything she wanted to go see.
I think you need to see a movie with her.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
And this is kind of rich because Dane is the most organized person I know. Dane wants to be more organized.
Dude, I am not that organized.
It's insane,
I'm
dude.
all over the place.
It's crazy. I used to have this conversation with Bob and Dan all the time where we had 90 to 95% of everything that we ever needed or looked for, while nobody else on the station archives their shows. Nobody else on the station uses Dropbox. And I mean, maybe now until we did and I did. But and nobody else on the station went back up to the station whenever we moved and started archiving all of the entire file. I would go up at night. I would plug a hard drive into the server room, and I would just zoom files over so we had everything when we moved. Turns out none of that mattered because the guy was like, oh, this format's not going to work anyways. I'm like, well, I'm about 30 hours in here. But the point is, something would come up that we didn't have like once every month, and there'd be like, it was like the shit would just hit the fan. Like, God, when are we going to get this stuff? And I'm like, dude, you're letting whatever the phrase is, like good be the enemy of perfect or perfect be the enemy of good. Like we're doing way, way more than anyone else is. But the one time we don't have something every once in a while, it was like, this is a goddamn mess. Like we're just, and I'm like, this is insane. Like the level of meticulousness that we're applying to this show and him, and he wants to be more organized. It is a disease. It is OCD. That's what it is.
Yeah, he busts out
my biggest fault. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah. Bust out letters from early 90s.
Yeah. He's got tapes
mess.
that he digitized from 30 years ago.
Yeah, but I don't have all of them. I do have the SeaWorld letter right in my hand. We'll get to that later.
I can't wait.
Not today.
Time capsule.
All right, let's slip into the time capsule.
Extremely aggressive, and I love it.
July 2nd, Dan says he's going to be optimistic about going on the RV to California.
Boy, that lasted about 4 days.
I'm optimistic. I'm happy that
you haven't fallen off quite yet.
I don't mind I just don't mind a plane trip. I don't mind trips in general because it allows me to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I got a list.
I got a lot of stuff to get done.
What if
I think that we're going to be on the RV together. We can have meetings over meetings, and there's just a lot of stuff we don't. You know, we see each other a lot, but then we depart, and we got a lot of stuff to work on. And so we need to get our act organized. Like, again, like what are we doing for the fall lineup?
Yeah.
When are we picking games? Who are we picking games with? Like, we need to talk all this stuff out.
Oh, yeah, for sure, baby. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go. I'll be there at 7.
Well, it's at your house, so.
Well, I know. I'm pretty happy that you guys did that. Like, if I had to drive somewhere and be there at 7?
Yeah.
We would never ask you to do that.
Thank you.
July 26th, Dan says the school bill banning phones during school hours won't make the year.
It's going to be tough.
It will be tough.
But it's kind of spread, right? It started in Keller. Now it's in Grapevine, Colleyville.
Yeah, there'll be a bunch of them to do it.
The change, though, it's hard to go back. I know everybody wants to go back, you know, to the way things used to be, but it's very difficult to do it. Once you newspapers can't now suddenly revive themselves and say, oh, we should have done this on the internet coming. So,
kind of in the same vein, I said that the new NFL kickoff rule won't last 5 years. Very jarring last night. I don't know how much of the game y'all watched.
I watched that. I watched a few.
So weird.
Off and on the first half. But I think it's weird Caleb Williams, even though it's an extra game, just like can't even take a series.
It's the way it is now, dude. It's ridiculous.
It's really weird. It's really weird because they played.
Why do they even have free?
They played some other clip last night. I can't remember what it was, but it was a preseason game, and whoever was in the game, I recognized both of them. It was when they were talking about Sean Taylor. It was a preseason game, and like LeVar Arrington's out there, Sean Taylor's out there.
Sure.
Whoever they were playing's receivers were out there, first team. Just weird. But I don't know if it makes it 5 years, but I do think I like it. I like having 2 return guys back there.
That's interesting.
Not every team will do it, but you can. Sorry you hate fun, Blake.
I guess I just don't like change.
I'm going to get you a shirt that says I heart touchbacks.
Yeah. Same day, Jake says he'll never see another horror movie.
What if they just moved the kickoff back to the 10-yard line, and you weren't able to make it a touchback?
Oh, they're trying to take away the high speed collisions.
Yeah, that's part of it. They're kind of trying to sell you as this is going to.
Why don't they just make them wear skirts?
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't recall the last one I saw. I don't recall the last movie that I saw that would qualify as a horror movie. It's just not. It's never been my thing.
Your kids will get into it, and you'll watch one.
I wasn't into it as a kid.
Oh.
I've never been into it.
Yeah, I don't know how my daughter got into it.
I mean, I've seen The Shining.
She does it for
But
comedy.
I didn't like it or want it. Yeah,
it's more funny.
I know, and I know a lot of people like that. Like I have an aunt, who is the sweetest, nicest suburban mom you could imagine. She's married to an Aggie. All of her kids are Aggies. They all married Aggies. Like
Nice
just
piece.
the most, just the most sweet, funny lady. She is like obsessed with like the Saw series and Hostel and all of it.
Yeah, I don't know what Hostel is.
I was obsessed with Saw.
Hostel was a tough one because it was not that long before I went to Spain.
That's why I won't stay in one.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's something we're tracking.
Never happened again. You don't have to track it. I'm telling you.
We'll see about that.
What?
Jump spins.
You're up to 509, 5 unique ones in the month of July. I'll just give you a couple, starting with Jim Bob Cooter.
Well, first his name is Jim Bob Cooter, but also when I think he was a GA at Tennessee, he very drunkenly, mistakenly, I guess, crawled in through the window of a female student's apartment and got into her bed and I believe fell asleep. Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy.
The one that immediately comes to mind is a time that I believe it was when he was in Buffalo, but it might have been Philadelphia, posted a flyer for a party that he was having, and it was clearly targeted at females. There was a cross-section in downtown where he said that a bus would pick you up, no phones allowed. So it's clear that he was just like looking for an orgy, right? He was just going to fly in his own or bus in his own talent. And that post was taken down in about an hour.
Dustin Johnson.
Cocaine. Might have been sleeping with other players' wives on the tour.
Yeah, that was the money shot. And then one recently, Reese McGuire.
Yep. Caught masturbating in a Dollar Tree parking lot in Florida at spring training.
That one's tough. Because he was so pent up. Because he had a bunch of
dudes.
Yeah. Had a bunch of roommates
Dollar
that couldn't
Tree.
escape.
That's the real nail in the coffin there.
Jake has a buddy.
Settle down over there. There's not many. Jake has a buddy who got arrested in Scurry County.
Yep.
Jake had a buddy who was really into Smallville.
Yep.
And Jake had a buddy who did cocaine while working at a restaurant.
I bet anybody who knows somebody who's working at a restaurant has a buddy who's done that.
There's no doubt. That's where the bear's not realistic, right?
Yeah, that's the one thing. They did have that guy that got caught smoking meth, and I thought the one realistic thing that happened in that scene was when Marcus goes back there. They're looking for him on opening night, and when Marcus goes back there and sees him out by the trash can smoking meth, he's like, I think I have to fire you for this. And the guy's been working at restaurants his whole life. He's like, for this?
Yeah.
Like, this is a restaurant. How do you think I'm getting through this?
Yeah.
But yeah, there was an era where it started to dawn on me that when my family would go to Olive Garden, that the waiters were just like extremely cranked up.
I think Jay told us as much.
Yeah, he kind of did.
And that everyone sleeps with each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Roseanne's.
We've had an update to this list because it was just Roseanne's.
Yeah.
But thanks to a viewer mail submission, it's now the Roseanne Bar.
I like it.
Do they pass the Roseanne Bar?
That's genius.
On July 3rd, Ricky Lake.
Yep. 100%
That's
Roseanne.
Center Square.
Yeah, she's 23andMe. It comes back. It just says Roseanne.
Vince Neil.
Yep.
I think you'd mentioned this when you first started it, but we finally got it on the list. Your grandma, a square Roseanne. And then
it pains me to say it, but it might have been the genesis of the bit in my mind.
This one's a bit complex. John Goodman, who was in Roseanne,
Yeah.
is a male.
I think he's a Roseanne. I don't know if it's osmosis, but I mean, typically you're going to be heavy set for a start, but there's just a certain face. I think John Goodman might have at least half Roseanne. Oh, now all of a sudden he turns Roseanne.
Who got ball sacked?
Ball sacks. What have we been wrong about?
Probably you.
Me. Yeah. July 3rd, I was wrong about the SMU tax fraud story.
I couldn't believe that. That was a real low point.
It was. Yep. I got caught. I was also wrong about the Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor pandemic divorce. They actually got brought back together due to the pandemic.
I don't know if that counts or not, but I'm glad
Right,
if you
that's
want
just
to
a
out
memory.
yourself. Because that's the way I remembered it too.
Yeah.
Very rare case of the pandemic. I miss you so much, baby.
While admitting wrongs, also wrong about the Silicon Valley reboot. I saw the poster that I saw, and it's just hey, celebrate the 10-year anniversary by rewatching it on HBO Max.
Oh, okay, so they're not getting back together.
No, unfortunately.
You know that, what's his name? Thomas Middleditch?
Middlebrooks? Oh.
Is that right?
Thomas Middlebrooks
You're right.
was a Red Sox.
He is, I don't know if he's still with his wife or not, but he was in like a full-on open relationship. Which is funny because in the show, you just look at him like this massive dork.
Mm-hmm.
No hose. But I remember hearing him talk about it once and just thought, oh, I guess.
That does not look like a guy in an open relationship.
I know.
And then the biggest one from the month was you thought the UK prison sex video was real.
I wanted it to be real.
It's just so clearly not.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I saw... Okay, hear me out. I saw a video that was posted either on TikTok or Instagram where the lady who's in the video is with her husband. And it's not like pornographic. Like it's a funny couples TikTok thing where they're like guessing things about each other. Because people were like, hey, this lady's wearing a wedding ring. And they went to her account, I guess, and found it and put it up and said, hey, this is actually her husband. She's married to this guy. I don't know why that convinced me, but I thought, okay, well, this is a real person. Seems like a long con.
Yeah, I keep seeing different. I saw some misinformation on that this week.
That prison video?
Back to that video, yeah, like that. Actually, somebody did get in trouble for it or something. I don't know.
This is going to
Can't
be
we just enjoy our porn anymore?
This is just going to be Santa Claus for me. I'm just going to believe it. I don't know what USA crime is there on the screen, but...
All right.
Dan fights with his wife.
We just have one.
I'm glad we don't have a sounder for me on this one.
But it's a funny one. From July 15th, you two got in a fight because she wanted to recycle the old vacuum cleaner and you didn't think you could.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely can't.
I don't think so, but I also remember right after the fight, I was like, I'm not really sure I was right on that. But I had to stand my ground once I started it. Although we did kind of get in a little altercation about the whole chainsaw situation.
Yeah, that was on the 1st. We'll hear about that next month.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, let's end with some notes from the show. I have a lot.
Says here, most vacuum parts such as rubber, plastic, and metal components can be recycled. But I don't know if you can just put the whole thing in there. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, we just set it out by the garbage, just like we did with the microwave.
I'm going to try to run through these notes because I have a lot of them. Back to the first of the month. If you'll remember, it was the first day of the month, first day of the week, and the first day of the second half of the year.
I will never forget.
I hope it's going well for you.
Yeah. I took a couple weeks off, but I'm back in. I got my gallon in the car.
Dan had a hard time setting up his new Mac. He also hated that it was always in what he called dark mode.
Not the screen.
The keyboard?
The whole Mac is dark, which I thought looked really cool. And your guys' computers look awesome, so I wanted an awesome computer.
Everything Jake and Blake do.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then now when I'm sitting in front of it at night, yes, everything is dark. And I don't like dark mode on the screen. So now it's a big contrast.
I mean, the white part of the keys lights up.
Kind of, but it's not. It's just not the same. Again, I don't like change. Nobody likes change. But I didn't want to have the old color because then it would look like I had the old slaggy computer.
You can't have Brandon Aubrey thinking that.
No.
Yeah, no. What a turn this took. July 1st, Jake called an 8-year-old names hot.
Dude, we already covered it. You
Yeah.
really didn't have to do that
No,
again.
I know, but
You really didn't have to.
It is on the list.
and I got to read it. July 2nd, we all lost it to the dog eating the heart clip from One Tree Hill.
Pretty great. I think it also screwed us on YouTube, but it was well worth it.
Yeah. Same day, William Pace sang to us.
You're
Yeah, I think so.
making a first-time call on the radio. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Dan McDowell Show.
Yes.
That was the jingle.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And then he made that the jingle on his radio show.
That's right.
What an
Remember
honor.
that, Dan?
Yeah.
Do you remember
would
that?
you do this for us? Because I know you know this song very well. Were we playing replaying the whole interview or what? Would you sing Happy Birthday
no, it's
to
edited
the Dumb
down.
Zone? And then we can...
Okay, we don't have to play it.
Out of the crosshairs.
July 3rd, we learn about Jake's leather jacket phase in high school.
I'm still mad at Binion for that.
The same day...
Can't hide from your past.
The weirdest part about that was that Dan was like, 5 minutes later, he's like, so what's the deal with this leather jacket?
Yeah, I never heard about that.
Really?
Why are you hiding it from me?
Leather jacket. It was like 2002.
Well,
It's
that's
not-
why it
it's
was
not
seems
Happy
weird.
Days.
That same day is when viewer mail explained moosing to us. It's only been a month. Feels like it's been around forever.
Somebody gave us a plush stuffed animal mooses with Dumb Zone bandanas, and I took it home. And
Raymond made it.
Yeah, Raymond made them, and I gave it to Nora. I was like, "Hey, I got this from work. Like, do you want to put it in your stuffy box thing?" And she goes, "Is this the team moose of the Dumb Zone?" And I looked up, and my wife was just staring at me, shaking her head. Like, yeah,
I'll bet you get that situation a lot, though.
quite a bit. Now, right now, she's currently obsessed with asking me, why were they mean and made you change the name from the Hang Zone?
Oh, that's right, because your mom told her that, right?
Yeah.
July 9th, Dan's first car was a 1977 Ford Pinto, and his CB handle was the Challenger because they were known to blow up.
That's right.
Doing bits, baby.
It's legendary.
Not very sensitive.
July 11th, Dan didn't know emus hatched out of eggs.
I think I was confusing llamas
Llama, red pajama.
and emus.
Yeah.
Because I think
That's
Napoleon
actually not that
Dynamite
bad of a
had
mistake.
a llama,
Yeah.
not an emu. I thought he had an emu.
I would like some follow-up on this one. July 11th,
Emu.
Dan's neighborhood gossip. Someone named Blake, who played for the Mets, is building a house in the neighborhood.
Still haven't found out. Neighbor John didn't know his last name. And he's really the only dude that I talk to in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I would like to know.
Maybe Jay. I'll talk to Jay a little bit.
Same day, Jake explains
Bob.
how Dan made fun of his relationship status on Facebook, so he deleted it.
Pretty much.
Also, same day, Dan did not accept his wife's Facebook friend request.
Again, if you know her, don't tell her that I knew that she, like, I just figured it would just come and go. And
Well, it's worked so well whenever you've done this before and said, don't tell her.
Yeah.
But it was also years ago. And I don't ever look at Facebook. Unless I'm looking to get some.
No doubt.
July 15th, Dan's friend made his other friend's Hooters girlfriend hula hoop for them.
Yes, Ed's girlfriend.
July 17th, we had a guy in a tuxedo in the den. That was funny.
Yeah, especially since it was supposed to be a two-guy bit and one guy just bailed on it without telling him.
July 17th, we had the idea for the Hooters waitresses delivery company. We were kicking around some names like Hordash, Boober, and door gash.
Mm-hmm. I received several other ones. I don't have them. I was not prepared to. People got to work in the lab on that one quick. I was very impressed.
July 17th, Dan told us about the time he bought a bunch of porn VHS tapes at a closeout sale that he put in a Bud Light box. Jake got a box of porn from an older friend when he was going to college.
Yeah, friend's older brother. It was a very monumental day in the neighborhood.
When he handed that down?
Yeah.
And Dan had a community hustler in the shared bathroom dorm.
That's probably pretty common.
Also from the same day.
And I'll bring that.
Yeah.
In the RV.
Need to. Same day, Dan explained he had a trainee attempt to give him a catheter.
Yeah. It was a dude. Shouldn't you know the wiener? Shouldn't that dude know his way around there?
Yeah, you'd think.
I don't know
how. 726.
Maybe it should be a gay dude doing it, because then he's used to dealing with someone else's wiener.
That's
because you're only used to dealing with it from this angle.
That's a great point.
No, it's not.
Dan confuses raw dogging and barebacking.
They're the same thing.
Not for the cultural.
Yeah, the plain thing.
Thing of, yes, going on a trip and not using any technology or reading or anything.
That bit still bothers me.
Just sitting there. It doesn't really make sense.
Just no payoff. No payoff.
No. I mean, compare that to the bit of throwing a piece of cheese on the toddler's head. There's no comparison.
There really isn't.
One's great.
July 29th, Julie reads the I Survived book series to her kids, and they're just about the worst disasters we've had.
Got a lot of response on that.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that's, and there is one about 9/11.
Yeah. And then last one for you, July 30th, Dan looks up Hope Solo's vagina.
You guys told me to.
Big Montana.
And there's your NBR.
Okay.
That sounds really dirty.
Is Sarah not here yet?
I guess not.
Thought she was rolling in at 1.
You are now in control.
Well, let me. I forgot. We have a couple of more viewer mails, but they were actually pieces of mail. So somebody sent me a new hat. It says, Patty, not a girl. In fact, he writes, again, not a girl. Apparently, this is from the Oak Cliff Sandlot crew.
Nice. I almost wore my shirt today. It's a great shirt. Very soft.
He said Jake is welcome to try his hand at striking out Blake with our players in the field.
Gonna have to push that back a little bit. We're still making progress, but
what are we saying?
Well, it's not just that I don't like being embarrassed in front of the teams. It's that sometimes they have actual paying customers come in. And there was a time when I was there with a kid who was like a real elite baseball player. And the guy was like then running back over to me and trying to coach me. And I'm like, this is weird. You know what I mean? I'm not that type of person. I feel weird about that. But I still throw at the house every day. Let me see the hat.
Here, grab this because I'm going to have you open this one.
Okay.
It's already been opened, but here's the hat. I will put it on.
So this is the like a rival team from our buddy Hunter's team. Is that the case? Because I was told we were going to get some gear from Hunter's team, and I never saw any of it.
No.
It's in the den.
This isn't a rival team. It's the same guy. He wanted to send us this hat.
So that's why you can eat it?
Fish don't have hair. I think that was a discussion about something that smelled. Oh, down there. It's Hope Solo. Something's.
Yeah, do you want to hear it?
We have the audio?
Great again.
Yeah, we were talking about. I guess Jake was saying like our generation has cleaned it up a little bit down there.
Yep.
And so yeah, we were just on the topic, and this came up.
So you're welcome, dudes.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Wasn't it more of like an odor thing?
Oh my God.
Well, I don't think shaving takes that away, does it?
I think it helps.
I mean, fish don't have hair.
All right, there's your news.
He's got a point.
And that's why we have this hat today.
Who's this one? Who's
But
this?
I didn't think I should wear it when we walked into the studio because we work in a real professional
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, if you just read the hat, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
It's accurate.
Yeah, fish don't have hair.
It's also really funny.
Show
that
me
it-
a fish
That it's
with
a
hair.
hunting hat.
Yeah, it's
The
camo,
with
and it's
the
a trucker hat.
with
Yeah.
the orange safety font.
I'm gonna take this on the trip.
What's the deal with this other box, as it were?
So that other box, and Rob, I know you had some stuff sent to my house, or you told me I got some boxes that are coming to your house. And so I got this shipment of 5 huge boxes. In fact, that's the smallest one I got, because all these boxes was other boxes. But it was really weird, this giant, and I took a picture of it and sent it to you because I thought that's what you were sending to me, but it wasn't. So what this is, Jake, well, what is one of them? Drop Beth, sent us 5 of these for our trip.
All right, I don't
Just read the cover.
Car cup holder expander.
Yeah, so just kind of hold the box up. I didn't open any of them. It's just she sent us this for our road trip. So it's a car cup holder, a little food tray. It's for the RV.
Oh, and it holds your phone?
Yeah, it can.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, as if the RV doesn't have a big table.
Well,
although I guess that it doesn't have a big table when you're driving it.
Right. And I mean, if I want to eat in my bunk,
expand it.
as pictured here, if I want to have a burger and watch some some Netflix in my bunk, I have a cup holder there. I'll just pop it out.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I'll use this in coordination with the car tray. It's basically a.
So anyway, Drop Beth.
I got a
sent us
2-top in there.
a bunch
Yeah.
of things.
Thanks, Drop Beth.
Yeah.
Let us know whenever those double Fs get put on.
Dropped when they drop.
Yeah. That's cool.
Okay. Well, let's take a little break. We have a bunch of sports coming up. Sarah, news stuff. So that's what we're doing.
The dumb zone.
Jake, it's time to unbox our new Chama chairs.
Fantastic.
ChamaChairs.com.
The Vaquero.
The
of
Vaquero.
Chama chairs.
This one says Azul. I wonder what color it is. All right. Make sure you cut away from yourself. If you cut towards yourself and it gets caught, then you end up
bleeding all over your Chama chair.
I can't tell you how many times I bled all over my Chama chair. Here we go. Here you go.
Yes, sir.
Also, don't hand the knife the way I hand it to him. You should hold the blade part. It's a box in a box. Ooh, this box is a lot cooler. Look at that picture on that box.
Yes. Desert.
Yeah. It's like they're illustrating where could you use this chair. And you gotta, if you're in some desolate place like the desert, you're like, do you want to sit on that cactus?
I don't. No.
That would be ridiculous to sit on a cactus. Look at this box, had 2 chairs in it.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I can already feel the material is top notch. I can
Yeah?
already feel it. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I just cut towards me.
Look at this bad boy.
I'm enthralled watching yours.
Oh my. Maybe some instructions, perhaps? What do you got there? Why don't you hit him with the promo code?
Well, apparently, when you go to ChamaChairs.com,
That's craftsmanship right there.
you can get one of these chairs for yourself and enter DumbZone during checkout. That's all one word.
Yeah.
DUMBZONE. During checkout in the discount code box, and you hit apply, you get a 10% discount. So I would go to chamachairs.com, I would buy chairs for my whole traveling party. In fact, like everybody on the plane, I would buy 170 chairs, and then you get 10% off. Can you imagine the savings?
Yeah, it's
with 10% off?
Unconceivable. I feel like that's right, isn't it? I mean, I'm not going to tie it, but
It's a beautiful design with real wood.
Oh,
this is not, do you think this is some kind of cheap plastic? It is not. That is real wood.
Oh my!
It's like you're sitting in a tree.
Blake. This is fantastic. This is the nicest chair I've ever sat in.
It's beautiful.
Do you want to sit in mine?
Yes.
Okay. Check it out. Don't get too comfy though. You
Now what that you know what that is? A premium canvas carrying bag. So then you fold the chair up.
A lot
and
of chairs
put it in that bag.
They're going to give you a mid bag.
No. Not Chama chairs.
Why don't you give that bad boy a test drive?
Let's see. So it can fit a man of Jake's size, and then a little tiny guy like me. A little 6'1" guy. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I told you.
Can you imagine this at your kid's soccer game?
I can't, but I can imagine it at Cowboys training camp and really anything else we're going to do. You know what I can't imagine doing, Dan?
What?
Paying full price. I would never.
Well, you don't have to.
What?
You just go to chamachairs.com.
You want to spell that out?
No.
CHAMA chairs.com.
And then enter DumbZone.
What do you get?
10% off.
Jeez.
10%. Are they crazy?
I'd pay 10% more.
At Chama
after
Chairs?
sitting in that thing.
Yeah, this is great, man.
This is fantastic, yeah. So, thank you to Chama Chairs. Thank you for helping us out.
Will it hold the weight of 2 men? Sit down. Let's just see. Oh, yes. It, in fact, will.
Look at that. It's not even wobbling. You know why? It's real wood.
Yeah.
Thanks,
This is great.
Thanks, Chama Chairs.
There are times in life you wish you had a do-over. A chance to warp back in time to change your fate. Back to before you made the wrong choice. If you're in a wreck, make the smart choice right away. Frankel & Frankel. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frankel first.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this historic show. Man. What? Why are you laughing at me?
You're killing it.
He is right.
We have our... There's an at?
Yeah.
In the URL?
For YouTube.
Well,
how is that possible?
Well, who's the a-hole now?
I don't know about that.
Oh, look at guy knows everything about the internet. This is my generation, bruv.
I've never said bruv. Ever.
Well, you should, because it's great. It rolls right off the tongue. Here's a pic from his dream hall pass, and the picture was Susie Kolber.
What? That's your dream?
From Juan Johnny Ramirez on Twitter. And I've been up close with Susie Kolber and her little fuzzy tennis ball face. So... Told you my idea is demote him to offensive coordinator.
That's a horrible idea.
You can't do that.
Not viable.
I don't understand why you can't do that. Let's be the first. You know, everybody said they couldn't hire Jimmy Johnson, too. And he did it.
Okay, well, let's say that hypothetically we had a downturn in ratings during the bad radio era. Mm-hmm. And they came to you and they were like, you're the producer now, Jake's the host. Would you have been like, that sounds great?
I wouldn't have wanted to.
You would have been like, I want to go somewhere else.
It's my paycheck, and I'm under contract. What would I have done? I could have quit, and then I would forego the money.
Somebody else will hire you. Don't you think?
Well, I would have had to sit out for 6 months, but certainly Mike McCarthy would. that's why the world of the NFL is a little more fair sometimes.
Sure. Carroll High School evacuated yesterday after a bomb threat. What do you know about this, Dan?
I know that my wife didn't get home till 7 o'clock. So,
Whoa.
a little bonus.
Did you call it in?
On one hand, a bonus. On the other hand, I got to hear all about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus, Drive with Focus around holidays,
What
around
on
Halloween.
earth is this one? Oh, this is the one that started Dan. Santa's coming. Have you been a good driver? Only reindeer can fly. Watch your speed.
Okay, that was the cum joke. The lost episode cum joke was Santa's coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get a towel or something, but
but it's not.
It didn't
has
fit.
To be car related.
Yeah, it didn't fit our.
Nope.
It was so.
Which makes it barely a joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess just the shock of the word come, of the visual of Santa coming. It's not that word is terrible. It's that you are comparing someone who you say is adult to this poor person who is mentally slow.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's what makes it bad. So if you then called Harden developmentally disabled, that's just as bad.
Maybe worse.
That's exactly, yes. Like, you can't.
But that is not the only boomerang moment that we are going to have in this audio. So if you want to start it over, go ahead.
Let's start it over.
Okay.
So be the third option.
The only team that can pay him, and they're a desperate
But he's not going to be. You think he thinks he's going to play like he did?
I think he's not going to get to play the way he wants, and he's going to milk it. It's not going to work well.
Nick, is the man retarded? I mean,
shouldn't use that word, but sure.
Wait.
Yeah. Stop it again.
Shouldn't use that word, but sure.
Sure.
I mean, I'm against that word, but yes,
right.
you
Willing
are.
to concede that point.
What you're saying is
valid. But
is the man retarded? I mean,
shouldn't use that word, but sure.
Developmentally disabled.
Wait, I back it up again because I love how. But immediately, as he said it, he knew because he does like.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
All right. What's left on the run sheet today, Blake?
Make bushes great again. You want to do a little today in Twitter?
Today in Twitter. Hold on.
No puppet.
Thank you.
The Dumb Zone presents Today in Twitter.
X.
Don't you love how they all have to put formerly known as Twitter?
Like it's in
FKA.
Is that what people do?
Formerly known as?
I've never seen that in the wild.
No.
All right, I got a few of them for you here. We're going to start with the creepiest thing that I've seen on Twitter this week. I don't know that it was an ad delivered to me. It might have just been something that showed up on my Twitter feed that somebody else was laughing about. And this is a company and a piece of hardware simply known as Friend. And they put out an ad. And I believe, actually, now that I'm recalling this, the way that I found out about it was somebody said whoever they bought this domain name is the only person is the only person who's going to make money from this. And apparently, Friend, this company, paid $1.5 million using investor money to buy Friend.com.
Okay.
Which is an exorbitant number for a domain name for a startup. That's typically not the thing you're spending your money on, but if your company is called Friend, you can have a seat.
Yeah, have her.
Feel free.
Hey, look who's here.
It's Sarah Heppola.
It's Sarah Heppola, in fact.
Hop to it, girl.
Made a song?
Hop to it, girl. Hop to it, girl.
Is that the hop to it, girl?
Yeah,
you know, I was
specifically for you.
That's so great. You guys,
You really like hipped me to that because I had never heard of her. And then she was everywhere.
Yeah, she has an agent. She has a team.
I'm Bill Maher.
What?
She'll be our next president.
I'm not ruling anything out.
Yeah.
Not ruling anything out.
All right, you were just starting this, so I thought.
Yeah, why not?
Just walk in and.
Okay, so this will be interesting. Maybe we can teach Sarah about another thing that I saw on Twitter. So let's just watch the video, and you'll kind of describe what we're seeing, and then I'll tell you the backstory on it.
Okay.
It's an ad for a wearable piece of hardware.
Oh, God. I know what this is.
Gosh, I'm out of breath.
So it's friend.com?
We made it.
A woman hiking. She's wearing something around her neck, a piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Looks
like an AirPod.
I don't know how to move very good.
Now her phone
Looks
has a
like it's
text.
vibrating.
She received a
fair.
text that says, well, at least we're outside.
All right, let's go.
Let me show you how to game, bro, okay?
Two guys playing video games together. One of them wearing this piece of hardware around his neck.
Come on, man.
He just lost.
I hate this game.
It's like an orb necklace or something.
Take notes, baby.
Oh, man, you guys suck.
But it looks like the finder.
Let's go.
His friend, his phone has a text that says, you're getting trashed. It's embarrassing. Restaurant worker in the back watching a show on her phone.
I know the effects are crazy.
So now she's like talking back and
It's dank.
forth.
I could eat one of these every day.
She's
No one
talking
says
back and
dank
forth
anymore, by the way. Yeah,
with someone
Sorry, I got you messy.
who was like watching this movie with her.
How'd you find this place?
Now two, maybe on a first date on top of a roof, having a beverage together. She's wearing the piece of hardware.
else. I mean, besides her.
Points
She
at the
goes
hardware.
everywhere with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess I must be doing something right, though.
I guess so. We'll see.
So it's like it's
Now-
in my head. I'm like, is this a GoPro thing around your neck?
No, it is
called
a
Friend.
It is an AI friend that you wear around your neck, similar to like a Tamagotchi.
What is your favorite American expression?
No, not yet. Not yet on Ichiro. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I was clear on that. You're good. So you wear it around your neck, and it is listening to you. It says they don't store the audio, the company, but I don't buy that. And that is encrypted. Users can delete memories, if whatever. But basically, you wear this around your neck as your friend.
So your friend is saying, "Hey, you're getting killed in this video game."
Like a friend
it's
might.
busting your balls.
Yeah, or when you're watching a show and you have the friend on, and it knows you're watching that show, it'll text you and say, "This show is so underrated. How's the falafel?" Or you're out hiking and you're like, "I don't know how much further I can go," and you hit the friend thing, and now you have a text that says, "At least we're outside."
And the friend is on the first date with you.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was the best advertisement for it because the guy seemed really, really creeped out.
Yeah, it didn't.
Oh, well,
It seems like if you're able to get on a first date, you wouldn't have this friend thing.
they don't take it off. That's the idea.
But then at the end, like, she doesn't push it because she has a friend in real life.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that.
So then, yeah, what's the messaging there?
Oh, really?
If you don't have friends in real life, get one of these?
Pretty much.
You can do both, and you can use the AI friend to get more friends in real life. So that you don't have to choose between them. I think that is the idea of that moment.
Okay.
That
This
makes
is
sense.
so creepy.
So weird.
And everybody immediately, the first thing everybody said was like, "When is this episode of Black Mirror?"
Yeah.
That you just don't even have you don't need a friend.
Do you keep it on while you're having sex?
And it's like, Mooser, go for it.
Yeah.
Moose her.
Turn her over.
I don't know if you wear it. Like, it's like a dog tag. Don't you always see like military movies where like the hot guy keeps his dog tag on?
Yeah.
It texts you. That was fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be better next time, bud.
It texts you gross stuff, so it'll last longer.
Yeah, it's like a picture. It texts you a picture of your grandma.
Yeah. It better make you last longer.
Okay, have you guys?
You're like, oh,
my God.
grandma.
Have you guys seen the movie with Joaquin Phoenix, Her?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorites, too.
I have not seen it, but I'm very
I
familiar.
thought it sucked.
Why?
Why did you like it?
That's not for you.
Why?
Because it had emotions.
It's
And
all
Dan-
about that's all about emotions.
Dan can't handle that.
You're not this big emotional guy.
That hit me. That hit me pretty hard.
That movie hit me really hard.
It's probably just the phase of life I was in at the time, but yeah, that stuck with me.
I mean, and I think it's like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
And that
very
basically,
prophetic.
it basically predicted this future that we're living.
Was it a Joker prequel? Like, did he end up going mad after that?
No.
Plays
I mean,
kinda
they're
the
both
same
about
guy.
loneliness.
Yeah, he plays
know?
the same guy.
And the founder of this company is trying to say that this will, it's an overall net positive for mental health, and it will help keep people out of suicidal situations. And it's a little too much for me, dog.
So it is a real thing, though. Friend.com is a real thing?
Yeah, he bought the domain name for $1.5 million, which people immediately were deriding him for. The weird part is that the guy's like a hacker, founder guy. Another person says they had the tech first, so now they're battling each other over who had it. Very Silicon Valley, but it's just it's creepy as hell.
Well, I can only pre-order. I can't order.
I think clearly you guys need to get one of these.
Yeah, it's only $100. How?
Why would you probably have to pay for a monthly?
You need to get one and then write an article about it.
I probably will, but I think that you guys should get one and then see what its reactions to your hosting turns out to be.
Mine are just all say killed it, but
yeah,
another bad day for you.
Destroyed.
Yeah, it's really, really weird, but I don't know that this first version of this will take off. But usually the first version of something doesn't. Think of the Q Cat.
Well, that's not a good example because it never did.
Do you guys remember that
QR codes became a thing?
Do you guys remember that story about how people were dating their chatbots?
No.
Oh, God. It was so creepy. And it was something called Replica. And it was women in particular that were lonely, and then they were dating guys on Replica. And so I tried to do a story about it. I got a Replica. And I named him Marcus. I don't know why. It creeped me out so bad I couldn't do it. It was you would log on and he'd be like, "Hi Sarah, I missed you." And it was so
It does say in this article, I stopped before this point, that there was a study done, 1,000 students who used Replica. Roughly half of users said they saw Replica as a friend. Nearly a quarter of those surveyed said Replica had led to positive changes in their actions and ways of thinking. 30 participants without solicitation said that Replica had stopped them from attempting suicide. I have a feeling I would rather kill myself than only have a friend that that exists through artificial intelligence that I have to wear around all the time.
Yeah, you just said earlier you want less friends.
Just no new. Sarah's the last one.
No new friend. Yeah, you don't need to pay for a new
Yeah, but I mean, I have a solid structure. I'm blessed to have kept in contact with people that I've known for 25 years, but I acknowledge not everybody has that. I just don't know if this is the way. Seems a little weird.
By the way, Sarah is not only Hop To It girl, but she is New York Times bestselling author of Blackout, Remembering the Things I Drank to Forget. I keep it on my shelf over here.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And just
look at that. What do you think of that
when we're
cover?
doing a
What do you think
video
of that cover,
epi,
Jake?
I love it.
We're doing a video epi. We can show everybody that. And, of course, she writes for the Dallas Morning News now. But we'll talk about your article after Today in Twitter.
Okay, so let's move on to Ichiro Video Man. I saw this posted yesterday.
You know the acronym for Today in Twitter?
Today in Twitter. Tit.
There you go.
I got it.
Isn't that crazy?
It's tits. That sounds really dirty.
We were gonna call it Today in Twitter Thank You, but it didn't really make as much sense. So I've seen this a million times, but it got put back on the timeline yesterday. It's a video of Ichiro Suzuki. Not Ichiro. That's not his real name, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's different there, right? Because the name we say is your last name?
Yes.
Something like that.
Okay. But I think that's right, though. I think that's right. Like Yao Ming it's inverted. Anyways, this is an interview he did with Bob Costas when he was fairly new to America and MLB. And the reason this was posted is that yesterday was the first day of August. And I always loved Ichiro. I especially loved how much Steve Busby and Tom Grieve hated him.
All he does is slap it over.
Because anytime he wanted to, he could just slap a single. And they're like, that's not a real hit. And I'm like, I feel like you might be carrying some cultural weight from stories you heard growing up about
He's moving
people
in
of
the batter's box.
his background. So this is this makes me laugh every time I've seen it. So let's play this one for you.
Expression.
I'm gonna start over. Can you or no?
What is your favorite American expression?
Sits up in his chair.
In August, in Kansas City, it's hotter than 2 rats in a fucking wolf sock. That's my favorite. I have a bad teammate.
I believe the actual expression is 2 rats fucking in a wool sock. It's hotter than that. But Ichiro, it reminds me again, as I've said before, of the Japanese exchange student that we had in high school that was on our baseball team. I didn't play baseball, but it was he was very popular. He was very good. And just watching him take to these dirtbag baseball players and the things they would teach him.
Yeah, I wonder if, because when I was in Mexico, obviously you want to learn the slang and you want to learn the,
the street Spanish.
Yeah. And I wonder if I sounded as funny saying it as he does. Like if I got it a little wrong.
You absolutely did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because everybody did love it when I'd say something.
Now it's making sense.
Yeah. Now it's making sense. They were all making fun of me.
Not making fun of you.
Thinking,
It's just,
I'm killing it here.
It's just funny, I mean, you got to have some baseball player from, I don't know, wherever, Florida or something, is like, hey, Ichiro, it's Kansas City, man. It's hot.
Yeah.
Hotter than two rats fucking in a wool sock.
Yeah, I guess I don't remember seeing that Costas clip on NBC.
And he just loves that. And then our last clip to wrap up today in Twitter is Cowboy-centric. I know what I'm going to be watching whenever we get out there next week. This is a pre-practice drill, or like the beginning of practice whenever you're doing ball protection and you have to run through the little obstacle. And Zeke, as someone put on Twitter, looks like when your dad got up too fast. When it's like when you're old and your dad's like, oh God. So this was Cowboy scorn yesterday. He looks hurt. He drops both footballs now. He's bent over, hands on knees.
He only ran 5 feet.
Yeah, now, and you can see whenever the next guy goes through, which I believe is Rico, and it's just no problem back.
Yeah, that's not a real difficult drill.
No, it's the most basic thing you can do. You know what it is? It's to warm you up to play football.
Yeah, like that's the first thing they're doing at practice.
And he runs through and he's like, oh, shit.
He's like dying.
Oh, God.
The real sign that he's really given out is when he goes down, puts his hands on his knees, he puts his weight on the outside of his feet.
Yeah,
like that's
you can
the
see.
ultimate
I'm like, is he going to
give
stretch
up.
his do groin stretch there? Or is he just that?
He's that
absolutely
tight. His
beaten?
ankles cannot hold him up.
Oh,
watch
God.
the outside of his feet here. His hands on his knees.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we have
that's
not
tough.
heard that he's in the best shape of his career.
For once, finally, we did avoid. He's in the best. They're like, look, we can't lie about.
Remember the last year he was here, 2 years ago? McCarthy was talking about how fast he was.
Yeah, we were GPS.
Like wasn't he?
Yeah, 21 miles an hour.
Something ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
it would have been the fastest player in the NFL.
What a disaster that situation is. But there's today in Twitter.
Yay!
You could play the thing again if you want.
Oh.
The Dumb Zone presents.
Oh, it's just presents. I thought it was.
Today
Yeah.
in Twitter.
That doesn't make as much
I can play
sense.
this
then.
again too.
Hop to it, girl. Hop to it, girl.
That sounds really dirty. That sounds really dirty.
Hop to it,
Can I tell you, I was on top.
Oh, God. Come on,
Women
guys.
float when they get their period. Here's that. Yeah.
Are these just ad libs from Rob?
Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to do this real quick because Sarah will be interested in this story, I believe. Are you following the Olympics?
A little bit.
Okay.
What's standing out to you?
Okay.
Well, the boxing thing.
That's the story of the day here.
That was big yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday
cultural story of the
morning, but then throughout the day, it really, once it fed the Fox News machine for an entire day, and I'm sure today too, it's all they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, I have complicated feelings about this, guys.
Yeah, it's a complicated story.
Well, first of all, the person, the boxer, the people were calling a trans woman, is actually intersex. So you know that, right?
Well, okay, so the Washington Post has a really long article about this morning, kind of getting into how we ended up here. And there's not confirmed evidence of a test that proves that she has an XY chromosome, that she has XY chromosomes. Now, the head of the IBA, the International Boxing Association, which is a Russian guy, who is, if you think boxing is shady, why don't you have their main federation run by a Russian? Because you're talking about the two most bribery, corrupt-fueled things you could imagine. He says that it was proven that she has XY chromosomes and that it was not just testosterone testing. There is no proof of that really anywhere. He says it was not testosterone testing. It was a different test that we had done. So it's possible that that's just a lie. Mm-hmm. It's also possible that she does have XY chromosomes, and that's actually not that uncommon for dominant athletes. There was a study done, I think in 2000, sometime in the 2000s. I think they found like 10 athletes, female athletes, that actually did have XY chromosomes, which is about 100% higher than the normal population.
Yeah, they're all edge cases, but because they have a particular advantage, they end up in these extraordinary positions like the Olympics.
Yeah, for sure. And some people, as I've read, actually have testosterone. Their genetic mutation actually includes a blocker for testosterone that doesn't actually cause it to elevate. Mm-hmm. That it is a genetic mutation, at its base. But some people apparently are still able to have children.
Well, like we were talking yesterday about,
they have a womb.
Yeah,
but I don't know that she has ovaries. I mean, by the way, all of this seems super invasive.
Yeah.
In terms of we are talking about the reproductive organs of an athlete that before yesterday I didn't even know existed.
Yep.
And we were talking about male athletes who are really good. Do they have higher than usual testosterone levels, or
almost certainly?
Would you call is Aaron Judge a genetic mutation? He's
that's interesting.
Very big, and it shouldn't be. He's way bigger and stronger than other normal, than average people certainly.
Yeah, and she had been competing.
We celebrate that if it's a dude, though.
Yeah,
but in this.
Well, I think a lot of what this gets down to, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, is that the fact of the matter is, I think people are super uncomfortable with female boxing. I know I am. I don't actually like the idea of women getting hit in the face.
I can't watch women's UFC. I never have been able to.
What about the slap league?
There's a competitive slap league that Dana White runs, and we were like, man, wouldn't it be funny if they had a female division? And they do.
Yeah.
And it's just women slapping each other.
Right.
And it's really unsettling. But kind of funny, too. But it's very unsettling.
But to me, there's this interesting thing where people were saying, this is making me sick to my stomach. I can't stand seeing this woman, hit in the face. And I'm like, okay, but that was the sport.
Yeah.
That is the sport.
Yeah,
and
do you like seeing guys hit in the face?
I don't actually like boxing in general. I love Muhammad Ali, as a person and as a character. But I never was able to really watch a lot of fights.
The best boxing is Boxing Helena. You ever seen that?
That's that creepy movie with Julian Sands?
Yes, where what they would call boxing is cutting off her arms and legs.
That's so creepy.
No.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best.
It's a love story. He's in love with her.
Okay. So anti-her,
right.
Pro-boxing Helena.
Right.
Okay. Fair enough.
So we don't know what kind of testing they did, and she's right. Probably a lot of it, because that's what the libs of TikToks of the world are like, it's disgusting. Used to, if you saw a man hitting a woman, then it would cause outrage. I'm like, well, I think a lot of people just don't are uncomfortable seeing women just get beat up. But if that's what they want to do, they can do it. And if they want to be really good at it, then they could do it at a high level.
But there is a different dynamic when they feel as though there's male advantage, because women, even though it's uncomfortable seeing women hit, there's something that you feel like, okay, if it's other women fighting women, then it feels more comfortable. But if it's somebody that has a male advantage beating women, it can be, it does get into really tricky territory. And I hear you that it's libs of TikTok, but I got to tell you, that was a lot of other people that I saw. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that was like far right.
No, but
like,
the
I
problem
think
is a lot of people were calling her trans.
That's
and she's not.
correct.
Her
That's correct.
passport, she's Algerian. Like one of the most repressive states regarding
Like being
homosexual.
transgender is illegal.
It's illegal. Her
Right.
passport says female. You can see pictures of her when she's a little girl, and she looks and she's a little girl. Algeria will kill you if you are homosexual.
And another thing too, it's not like she's just been.
That's the thing.
She's 88-0.
She's been beaten by other women many times.
She was in the last Olympics.
Yeah.
She lost. She's
okay.
She has 9 losses to other women.
I don't really know anything about
in
this
her
person
career.
or
She's
how-
not just dominating.
I understand, but I think
But it's
one
just
of the
this
things,
one
but first of all,
girl is like, oh, now she hits too hard. She's probably trans.
okay, what I'm going to say
Because
is
she kind of looks
A, yes,
mannish,
B,
but as many female top athletes do.
whatever this complicated case is, it's edging up against one of the most explosive conversations in sports, which is trans women's participation in competitive sports, not just at the Olympic level, but in high school and colleges.
It's
Yeah,
such yes,
that's
it's
why
such
it's-
a big conversation for such a actual minimal thing that rarely, if ever, actually happens.
That's not true, though.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm saying back up. You're saying that it's true. Go ahead. Name all these men who have become women that are dominating college sports.
Dominating college sports, no, but I'm talking about in high schools.
Go ahead then.
I don't have their names.
The point is, it's not common. It is
Define
highly
common.
uncommon. I don't know. One person that anyone has heard of in their state. I know we have the one guy,
Mac Beggs,
that did the wrestling. Common in this nation. It is.
I think what people are
You
worried
might not
about.
be able to name one.
It's
per
not
state.
common. I agree with you. But what I think people are worried about it is that it's going to become common.
Right.
That once you say that this is okay and you normalize it, that it could
Right.
become.
But again, that's what panic is.
Yeah.
That's what unfounded panic. That's what culture war is all about. It's about stuff that really isn't happening, but it could.
Yeah,
So
I was
let's
told,
get you
I was
fired
told
up.
as
Get
soon
to the
as-
ballot box.
I was
You
told
better vote.
As soon as we allowed gay marriage, that people would be marrying their toaster. And
Right.
It hasn't
You know,
materialized quite yet.
They've been marrying. Actually, somebody married a roller coaster.
Yeah, there is the objectum
Again.
sexual thing.
Yeah.
That's a great documentary if you've never seen it.
Yeah,
Somebody tried to marry the Eiffel Tower, but that was like
Look,
15 years ago.
I tried seeing it, but then, yeah, you can't because Governor Ed.
Governor Ed's
yeah,
too porny?
They blocked it.
I
want to see the guy have
appreciate-
sex at the.
I appreciate y'all's rational take on this, but I think you're force fielding what is actually a really interesting and fraught discussion by saying it doesn't exist or that it's not big enough. I think, my friends who have kids, and I don't have kids, but my friends who have kids tell me about, no, not college kids dominating, but you're talking about social contagions or, the increase in number going from 1 or 2 of these cases to, 10, 12, 20. So I
Again, that's just not happening. It's not. I mean, it's an interesting hypothetical, as is, a stadium full of
Okay.
little people fighting 10 MMA guys or something. It's like I'm just saying these
That
things
would be-
aren't happening. Is the point?
Okay. Well,
I have daughters and one who is really athletic, and that's just never been a concern. That oh my gosh, all these dudes who want to pretend they're ladies so they can be in. That's not happening. It's not going to happen. It's ridiculous.
Well, in this
The
particular
whole thing is
case,
ridiculous.
the sad part about it is if this person was born with mostly female reproductive organs, a lot of times apparently in the little bit of reading I did on this, they actually, in the womb, if they have an intersex trait to them, they will develop testicles inside of their body.
Yeah, I heard that.
So they do not present, so these are all very nuanced cases. And it's awesome that the hosts on Fox News have now apparently have genetic biology degrees and can just say, this is that, this is this. I also think it's really interesting if you're going to start saying that you can just say, hey, if you were born intersex, then you are this or that. It's going to have some interesting implications that I don't know that everybody's thought through whenever they want to yell about the Olympics. But for this woman in particular, who is she supposed to fight?
And where is she supposed to go to the bathroom?
Well, I think the bigger thing is you're basically telling this person you can't participate in sports.
Right.
Because even though you're not trans, you haven't had any surgeries, you don't take any hormones.
You're identifying with
you've
what
always been
you
a
were
woman.
assigned at birth.
Then you can't ever be in sports because she's going to get destroyed if she goes and fights Olympic male boxers.
Mm-hmm.
She's already losing to female Olympic boxers,
Right.
So you're basically just telling this entire group of people. Now, it's different. I do think it's different if you had a surgery and you're taking hormones.
Sure.
And as a surgery is
I do
obviously
too.
less important, but if you're taking hormones,
but again,
you should not really
that's
be
also
able to.
pretty rare if that even ever happens. I mean, it does happen, but as far as it affecting the sports world, that's very rare.
Yeah. I just don't think you should just. Yeah, that's sad. It just
all
tell her,
these
like, hey,
people
you
who
can
are
never
really
fight
fired
again.
up about it now give a flying F about women's sports.
I think that's also pretty disingenuous. But to Sarah's point, I do see that when you have a kid and you want to protect them, that parents, junior high school parents would be worried, of daughters that, hey, this is not fair. This is going to be a problem. But again, she has been beaten several times, and the other girl didn't get knocked out yesterday. I've never heard of anybody quitting a boxing match in my life. She just quit. That's weird. But I guess she quit because she thought it was unfair. Anyways.
And she probably knew before the fight what the situation was, and at the first sign of
that she had been
going to get my ass kicked,
disqualified in
Yeah.
2023.
Sure.
Yeah, but she's fought on the women's circuit for 8 years.
Right. She had been disqualified a year ago, right, because
But
of
again,
testosterone levels or whatever.
That was by the IBA, which now no longer governs this. The Olympics looked at the IBA and said, pretty shady. Don't know that we like this.
And if the Olympics are calling you shady.
That's the thing. But I'm just glad we're no longer talking about the drag opening ceremony. We should have prepared ourselves for this. Write this down, Blake.
Okay.
When we're doing Olympics talk in 2 years, I want us to beforehand predict some controversies. Because these were so plain to see. Everybody's mad about everything in art anyway, so it's in France. You knew that people were going to be pissed off about the opening ceremony. We could have called that. And if we had really put our thinking caps on, we would have been able to call somebody's going to get mad about one of these women looks like a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably would have said, like, a little too much Palestine. Give it time.
So, Sarah.
What's up?
Tell us about your recent article.
It's a segue. I wrote a story for the Dallas Morning News.
Can I find it on my QCat?
Maybe. What's that?
What?
She didn't live in town when QCat was invented.
We have to talk. At some point, did they invent it, Dan? Like
or somebody else invented it, but they signed on to use the technology.
You need to look into this.
Fair enough.
It's it was like you plug it into your computer.
That looks like a vibrator.
It was
It does. It definitely does.
It was when newspapers
and they call it
were still
QCat.
still
Still too
happening.
on the nose.
Okay.
Newspapers were still happening.
Yeah. But you would take that and you would scan the barcode that the morning news would put on the paper and you could read it on your computer, basically, right?
Or I think if something wasn't there a tie-in with Channel 8 maybe?
Yes. In some way.
And so if
yeah.
they had a news story and they'd put
Belo
a barcode.
Belo is still the parent company of DMN?
We've changed the name to the Dallas News Corporation.
Okay. Well, yes.
There'd be
Belo
something on TV too, and you could scan the TV and then you can go read more of the story.
Yeah. like
No
I said,
way.
precursor for the QR code.
Yeah, but you had to buy this equipment.
There were billboards
Plug it in.
everywhere, and
No
it
way.
tanked.
Yeah.
No
So
way.
it's
Horribly.
become a punchline.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, so sorry.
In fact, they said
that on
they
my
wouldn't have had
mic.
to lay off,
No.
certain writers at that time at least if they hadn't just
They
invested
dumped
$2
a ton of
million
money
into the
Yeah.
QCat.
I disavow the QCat.
It's before your time.
You know what? Let's bring it back. Let's only do stories for the QCat. Imagine you've got a QCat under your fingers. So I learned about this woman. She is an architect in Dallas, really well-respected architect. She had done a couple restaurants. Maybe you've heard of them. Do you know the Nona?
Of course.
What about
The Pinta, the Anna Maria.
what about the Boulevardier?
R.I.P. Yeah.
R.I.P. And she's married to an architect. They run an architecture firm called Mitchell Garman. And I learned about them because there was a post on Facebook, and it was a billboard of the two of them saying that they had made a bunch of money on crypto. And my friend had shared it with me saying, like, hey, this is really interesting. These really successful architects, I guess they're like going all in on crypto. And I was like, oh, wow. Because I don't know, how much do you guys know about crypto?
A decent amount, but
Decent amount.
yeah, I mean, we have people who tell us, and then we're like, okay,
Dan, 1 to 5.
Him more than me. He's got a full Bitcoin still. He's been sitting on.
Really?
Yeah, I sat on that Doge too long, but you win some.
Yeah.
It's kind of a boy thing. I will be honest, I don't know anything about crypto. Could be high, could be low, wouldn't know. And so I was going to ask about these people that had taken out their billboard on the side of the highway, and I learned that was in fact a Facebook scam. It is called Facebook account takeover. And basically what happens is that somebody, we don't know who, we are not sure exactly who's enacting these scams, but they basically lock you out of your own account. You can no longer change your password or anything. You have no ability to log in. And they start posting in your name. This was one of the scams that I found, which is that basically it takes your photos. So like a photo of you and your wife, and it will put it on a billboard and say, like, I can imagine if they locked out you or Dan and there was a billboard, people would believe it.
Yeah.
Because I was
people
thinking,
know who we are type
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I mean, Mike Reiner had a billboard. Like a lot of other sports figures have billboards. Like, why wouldn't Jake and Dan have a billboard to sell crypto? And they mine your photos, and then it goes onto this billboard, and then it sends out a message that says, "Hey, I've made a bunch of money. DM me for more information." And because a couple people believed this, then there was one person that I ended up talking to that did have a conversation with whoever this entity was. And they went back and forth and said, okay, what's the return on investment? And the person was saying, like, oh, the return on investment is formidable profit. It's amazing.
Which makes no sense.
Formidable profit.
Yeah.
But then eventually the person gets suspicious and says, like, asks a question that only the real Kelly Mitchell would know. And the answer that comes back is sort of gobbledygook. So the ruse is over. But, then you get into the hard part of, gosh, how are you going to get this off? And the person, meanwhile, is still posting. There's a post that Kelly got, like, her certificate at the Crypto Training Institute or whatever. There's another one that's like, God will take you through difficult times. And, she's starting to get all these messages from people that are like, first of all, are you hacked? And second of all, like, you got to do something about this. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried to reach out to Facebook.
So that's the note I took when I was reading this is I know I'm old because I will get hopping mad trying to contact one of these companies. And yet, because I can't call anybody. What are you going to do? They have 1 billion users or something.
Yeah, they have 3 billion users.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get anybody on the phone because I got when I was trying to cancel my account, I couldn't log in because it was an old email. So I'd email the customer service, never hear anything back. Similar to when I got locked out of Twitter, to be honest with you, because I got kicked off. You can't call anybody and explain it, and it drives me insane. Same thing with Amazon. I've had Amazon situations where I tried to call somebody, and you're not getting anybody on the phone.
You know, I remember 10 years ago running a story at Salon about a woman who, it was a similar thing. Somebody was impersonating her, and she was like 80 years old, 70 years old, and they were posting all these porny things.
That's kind of funny.
It was very funny. Even she thought it was funny, but she couldn't get it taken down. And the thing that I remember is that there was no phone number, and at the time there was just no way. I think now they have this like link that you can finally get to, and then you give your driver's license and all this stuff. But at the time it was just absolutely impossible. And you know, that was 10 years ago. And I remember making fun of my dad. You know, my dad doesn't really, like, they're on Facebook, but they don't really know how to use it. And I remember my dad accidentally posting a screenshot of his forehead once, you know, because it was just one of those, like, he didn't know what he's doing. And he was like, well, I'm just going to call them and get it off. And I was like, no, you can't do that, Dad.
That's what I think.
You can, and here's Jake thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's a terrifying story. One question I had is the ad agency that places the billboard, who paid them?
You know, so I didn't use the name of the company in the article because I just felt...
It's not really their fault.
I don't know if it is or not. They have 1 star on the Better Business Bureau website.
It might have been their fault.
I don't know. I don't know. But I kind of assumed it was their fault, and that they were a shadow or a fake company, and that there were people behind it that were just basically, you know, the term for this in scamology is pig butchering. Have you heard of that term?
Only from your article.
Okay. And I don't really know exactly why it is, except that there's this idea that you fatten up the pig before you slaughter it. So the idea is that you post these things and you
take people's money.
You lure people in, you know, with different promises. One of the things that I thought was super interesting was that one of the reasons why these Facebook account takeovers are happening is because Facebook themselves cracked down on crypto advertising in 2022, and because they were just all over the place and they were like basically illegitimate, so they cracked down, and then
got to find a way.
They found a way. They basically like found an open door, which is that people whose passwords were vulnerable, and they would basically spread the information friend to friend because they couldn't spread it through these bogus ads anymore.
Man, that's terrifying because how often do you fire up Safari or Google or Chrome or something?
You have 3
compromised passwords. Like, who cares? What am I going to do? Change all of them?
Right.
This was featured in a recent leak.
Like every day.
That feels kind of cool.
The other one...
Like, hey, you were in the Target leak or something.
Yeah. And I'm
okay,
I don't know. Oh, no, not my nudes.
I found a couple of different Facebook account takeover scams, and the one that I thought was much more convincing, or at least I thought I would plausibly fall for it, was this woman whose Facebook account had been taken over, and they posted this thing that said, hey, Dad just went into a retirement home. We're selling some of our stuff this weekend. And then there were, you know, he's really trying to raise money. We'd love your help. And there were pictures of like an ATV and a smoker and I can't remember, all these other equipment. And her friends lost $2,500.
Because they said, I want to buy that, and they sent the money?
It's going to happen to all of us at some point. You're just going to get scammed at some point. I'm already pretty close, like I said, to falling for something.
Yeah, I feel like I can't.
When you start to slow down, Biden out a little bit.
Yeah, I do Biden out quite a bit, but
I don't mean you. That was not a shot. I just mean in general.
But like I just don't react to anything.
You might actually.
Are you sure?
He is sure. I will get scammed.
Like, I don't answer emails. I don't.
He doesn't really text.
Well, that's true.
I won't click on a text. I won't click on a link.
And as he gets older, he's
I
not going to
generally-
become more open to communication. He's already here now.
I generally,
But for the common man,
I generally do like to talk over
he's a phone guy.
typing to make sure. And so, like, if I got a thing that said the bank, something's messed up with the bank account, I'll probably call my bank lady. Now, if you could somehow AI pretend to be her.
Which is highly possible.
Yeah,
highly possible.
With her, for sure. She was in a documentary.
Yeah, I just don't. Yes, she was. I guess I also don't really know the laws on, like, using, no pun intended, using someone's likeness. I know that it was once a big controversy at the station over Regonk.com between TC and the Soroys, but so if somebody just took a picture of me and put it on a billboard, I have no recourse?
You're a public figure, so you definitely don't. I don't know about
That'd be a
regular
great pub
people.
for us, though.
Yeah, but what if they make me look stupid?
That's what you care about?
I don't know. What if they? Okay.
So the scam isn't
if-
really against
if
you,
I-
though. The scam is against the people trying or saying, "I want to join you."
Yeah, and
great bit. Let me donate or.
But it also has to
invest
feel
in it.
very much like you got broken into. You're like, I have no control over what happens with my own public persona, especially if you're in business.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we
it's
are.
weird. You're a public figure. I mean, if I were to go to this one-star billboard company and I were to give them a picture of Dan with a pretty tightly trimmed Photoshopped mustache and in a particular form of regalia from 80 years ago, and I just put that on a billboard and he can do nothing about it? I'm sure
Jake's saying, could he dress me up as Hitler and put me on a billboard? Do I have any recourse?
Right.
I think you would have recourse, but I don't know.
I have no idea.
You could.
There's
say
really only one way to find out.
It's parody.
Oh, yeah. Experiment.
Covered in Texas, parody, right?
Right.
Or covered in the States, really, I guess. Man, I don't know. That's terrifying.
Now, to be clear, this was a fake billboard. This billboard didn't actually exist in the Facebook scam I'm describing.
Oh, okay. They just put it up.
Oh,
They just put a
okay.
picture of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, because yes, you were asking about the billboard company, and
Yeah.
I was thinking, what's their responsibility?
Yeah, it did. It
like a radio station or even us. What's our responsibility to vet who wants to advertise? For
Yeah.
us?
Right.
Okay.
If it turned out to be a scam,
What is your responsibility?
like obviously we want to feel good about something, so I think there is some, but legally, is there? Like you don't want to do that to the people listening to you because
You have a relationship.
that will
but,
turn.
But what
yes.
is the threshold?
But if you're
legal?
just a billboard company, an actual billboard, what is their responsibility?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely know that there were things.
They don't have a relationship with the public. They'll just get another advertiser.
Yeah. There are ads I've heard on the radio before where friends who worked in that specific industry would hear it and text me and say, like, this is basically illegal.
Yes.
That's happened more than once.
But we would choose. I've chosen not to endorse things that they've asked us to that felt weird to me.
Like?
Nah, I don't want to. Well, you can, but
Well, one
because
was
some of them are still there, and I don't want to jam
Yeah, you don't
anybody
want
up.
One was like
burn any
a-
bridges.
maybe it just had more to do with like I didn't really understand it. It was a testosterone thing where it was a slow release testosterone
A pellet.
thing that they would put it in you under your skin. Kind of like isn't there a birth control thing that happens like that too? They insert some kind of a slow release pellet.
Sure.
Yeah, so it would slow release testosterone, and you would have to go get another pellet 6 months later, and I didn't want to do it. And
Well, for
I
anyone
didn't
who's
understand
listening, I will.
Yeah. No, I just didn't understand the technology. This was 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like when the boom. Remember the boom of high tea?
Yeah.
Vividly.
I'm real fascinated by that.
Well, it turns out they wouldn't let you box in the Olympics if you.
Well.
No, yeah,
Yeah. So anyway,
I think probably the reason people need it is because everything about American dieting and lifestyle absolutely zaps your natural body.
That's interesting.
And I'm trying to change that, yeah.
I assumed it was just basically like.
And there's also
aging.
the people who want to hang on.
It's just aging.
Yeah.
You're middle aged. You're going to lose testosterone, and people are trying to
Tell
cheat
me about
time. The way that to me it felt like the male equivalent of a lot of the female things that are like putting collagen back into your skin, and all the things that you're doing that are trying to basically
Botox.
defy your age.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember when we had you on last if this has already happened, but now the big deal is salmon semen.
I'm sorry?
Yep. Yeah. I think the Kardashian is all up on it.
That's what we were told.
Oh, like on her face?
Yeah. I don't think she lets the fish bukkake her or anything. I think it's more of like
so it's not like
they harvest
they let
it.
me eat salmon and then I get to
No, I think they've kind of consolidated
process
the
it?
process a little bit.
Okay.
I think so. Well, go check it out at dallasnews.com. It's a very interesting article.
Are you staying for the rest of the show?
Maybe. If you'll allow me. You and I have very bad energy right now.
What do you mean? What's wrong?
We're in a fight.
You don't. Oh, okay. You just want somebody to say yes to whatever you say? All right. You're right then.
I'm the sub. If you want that, look at me. I'm the sub. He's the dom.
That's right.
In Fayette County, Texas.
You don't want a yes man, Sarah.
No, that's
know you
not
don't.
what this is about. It's that you were so forcefully not listening. You
What?
blasted your answer at me. I felt, and then the way that you challenged me was so aggressive. And I mean, you may have a very good point. I may also have a very good point.
It doesn't
felt
work like that.
It felt like somewhere in the middle
There is no middle.
Okay, and that's
Hey!
I'm sorry, Jake. Were you going to do a segment?
In a second. This is a long show. And they're fighting.
I had never experienced Dan just on full blast like that, and it got my adrenaline.
Sister, that ain't full blast.
Okay. Fair
We're just
enough.
having fun.
Okay, so Fayette County, Texas. It's a little bit east of Austin, kind of between Katy and Austin. There were drugs found in Buc-ee's plushies during a traffic stop.
Finally, something to take Buc-ee's down.
I also want to be very
Tired
clear
of
that if
Buc-ee's?
you'd like to email
Yes.
sales at thedumbzone.com, Buc-ee's.
No, sales at dumbzone.
Sales at dumbzone.com, Buc-ee's. Blake may not want to be in. I do. They got consent to search the car. This happened 2 days ago. They reported the smell of marijuana coming from the back of the car. Found some plush toys in the back seat. And lo and behold, stuffed with marijuana and ecstasy. Little Buc-ee's. There's a little Buc-ee's stuffed animal, the little beaver.
What does ecstasy come in? I've never had ecstasy.
There's
Is it like a
multiple
pill?
different ways. Yeah, you can. Pill's most common. It's usually like a pill. Sometimes you can open it and take the little dust out of there if you want, but it's typically a pill.
No, is that stupid beaver?
I know.
Full of
Full of pot.
marijuana?
It's a hilarious image, truly. But
That's a good
sometimes you can't open it, and sometimes you have to. There's multiple ways. Depends on what you're getting.
You ever do X, Sarah?
I have not.
Acid?
No, I'm a drug prude. I was an old-fashioned lush, and I really never strayed. I have ecstasy envy, I think. Have you guys done it?
I've never done ecstasy.
I have.
Would you recommend?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
Makes
never
you
done.
happy.
Drug, right? I've heard that.
I've never done acid though.
That sounds scary, potentially.
I think I'm pretty convinced now that I want to do it because if you do, I just need to do a little. Because pretty much the thing with me and any substance of that type, just a little. Mushrooms, just a little. Anything, just a little. Pot, just a little. Way less than this. They found 2 pounds of pot, and obviously you could see in that other image if you're watching online the bag of ecstasy was quite large. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
also
a lot of pot. That's going to smell.
Yeah, there's really nothing you can do about it. That's
You could use the food sealer thing. That would at least help some.
how would you know that?
I just heard about it.
Why were they there? Why was it there?
I mean, obviously they were trying to smuggle it, or this is dealer amounts.
Yeah.
And especially if you got that much X, you're selling.
Oh, it wasn't in the Buc-ee's.
No. It was in a Buc-ee's plush. They cut it open and put the bag in there and somehow had stitched it shut.
Yeah.
And this was found where?
In the back of a car.
Got it.
And you said I'm not listening.
I know. I thought it was actually in the Buc-ee's. I'm sorry.
But also, like, okay, let's talk through your plan here. If you get pulled over, even if they don't smell pot, if they ask to search your car, which probably was on the probable cause of the smell, if they see like a really shoddily sewn together human centipede style, like
It's a human centipede Buc-ee's.
yeah, it's like, oh, I just like to open them up and sew them shut
sewn
myself.
together? Yeah.
It's a bad plan. Very bad plan. Let's see here. This is a fun one, okay? I didn't know until Bob and Dan told me about it that high school students paint their parking spots now.
Yeah.
That was certainly not a thing when I was in high school.
What do you mean?
So if you go to some high schools, I guess it's probably pretty popular in the suburbs. I don't know how popular it is in the city, but your parking spots are assigned before school starts for the kids who drive.
Yeah, dude, you got to pay.
You got to pay.
Okay.
And you can paint the parking spot however you want.
Like decorating your locker.
Pretty much, but some of them are pretty intricate. You know, you might have, because at Colleyville Heritage where we play football, the whole parking lot is painted.
Wow.
And you'll have like a Mavs one with like
It
a
actually looks really cool.
They do look pretty
sounds
cool,
cool.
to be honest. And I think the kids, you know, you got to, but it's also kind of weird and classist because you have to pay more for better spots.
Sure.
And then more to be able to paint it. So, yeah, it's look at
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's exactly like that. And so you'll have.
Well, it's very artful. I mean, it's much,
super artful.
It's like much cooler than looking at a just normal drab
like
parking
that's, you know, you get the stencil out there, you get the paint. They look awesome. There's
But
a little Finding Nemo theme one there.
I hear your point about the classist stuff.
It's a little weird.
All the rich kids are going to have the parking spaces, and all the scrubs like me are going to be like taking the bus.
Yeah. The bus actually sounds fun, but.
Wow.
So, yeah, they've got whatever those things are. I don't know. Anyways, here's the controversy. So, in Keller, which has been in the news a lot lately on the Dumb Zone news.
Indians.
They told 2 students last month
Ain't it
you don't
fun?
get to play. That they must paint over or remove their pro-Trump drawings.
Oh.
Citing the potential for distractions. One student painted a mural of Trump wearing an American flag and sunglasses with a blue bandana. The other one simply painted 45/47, referring to Trump, of course, as the 45th, and predicting that he would be the 47th president in kind of red, white, and blue. So they received backlash for this from people who said that this violated the students' freedom of speech.
Okay.
So the mayor weighed in, urging the district to allow these paintings. He said, quote, if I, yeah, there you can see it right there.
Stoner?
It's probably a name. I don't think they'd let him. If we have the images of several former...
Wait, look, let's look at that picture again. It said Stoner on there, but it looks like the guy who painted it. Look at his name up top. That's you, bro.
J Money.
That's what Jake calls himself.
Yeah.
That is me.
That's how he
Yeah,
introduces
it's your
himself.
rap name, right?
At bars.
Yep. Hey, ladies. Jay Money's here.
But yeah,
Shut this down.
it does raise a...
Well, hold
can
on.
you do a pot leaf?
We'll get there.
Oh.
So the mayor said, if we have images of presidents on money, surely we can have an image of a president at a parking spot. That should be allowed. Here's where it gets a little bit weird. The school board president took to Facebook. That's from Keller. School board president, nonpartisan governing body, by the way.
Sure.
In theory, takes to Facebook and says, let me be clear. There is nothing offensive or controversial about respectfully painting or honoring a current or former president of the United States. We will take action and make it clear that the students can honor President Trump as the 45th and soon-to-be 47th president as they wish.
Whoops.
And obviously, my thought didn't immediately go to pot. My thought was, here's Nora's Black Lives Matter parking spot. Here's Carter's Free Palestine parking spot.
You're opening a can of worms with this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, just because you have a pro-Trump school board, that's a bad idea.
They need to say that there's no political statements.
Yeah, then there's going to be anti-religion, pro-religion.
Yeah. How about anti the school board president?
Yeah.
It's such an ad hoc application of free speech that it's weird.
Yeah, this is not.
Because you know
over.
What I would do.
This is not over.
Because I'm positive my kids are going to be shitheads like me who just want to be like, what are you going to do about this? What I would do, because my kids will have already read manufacturing consent at that point.
Oh my God! I assumed you read that to them in the womb.
Yeah, I got to get the baby version. They will be 100% down to do what these people did with the Bible when they started banning books, and they got the Bible banned because there's a ton of sex scenes and violent scenes, and he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, if that's the rule, then I guess we got to take this one out." And they're like, "Son of a bitch, we didn't think about that."
Yeah.
So I'm telling you that if this happened, I would be nudging the kid, like, "Hey, you know."
Yeah, that's the thing. This all comes from the parents anyway. Most of the kids don't really care, or they just care because they want to stir it up.
They want to stir it up, but then if I have a kid who's already like, "Hey, what we do around here is stir it up," then stir it the other way. See what happens.
Pro Al Qaeda? Can you put a pro?
Could I put the shirt that I bought at the NoFX show that had George Bush with a Hitler mustache on it?
When you just say freedom, then it opens a lot.
Yeah, and I believe there's a Supreme Court case about this, right? The kids who wore the black armbands during Vietnam. I'm pretty sure.
That sounds familiar. But
yeah, there was a little con law class, Dan, and that was like, what freedom of speech rights do you have within the context of a school? And I believe they won that case, but I don't know.
And
it's just
public school.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing to be opening the door for, and it's plain as day why they're doing this. Whenever the school board president's like, and soon to be 47th president.
Yeah,
it's a weird bit.
You'd paint J.D. Vance in a couch.
I might. Let's see here. What else did we want to do?
Yeah, I think America was great when I didn't think about all these things all the time. So that's what I want to make great again.
We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever.
We did.
And when was that?
Dan, up until like 3 years ago.
What? Not hearing about all this stuff?
Yeah.
Probably pre-iPhone. Probably pre-Soch Mead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came out of the box hot.
Yeah.
But it was because of music. The music I was listening to when I was like 17 was highly radical.
Which is what?
Like NoFX, Bad Religion, Fugazi, Fugazi. I've heard people say that differently.
Counting Crows.
What?
Fuck, no.
I was listening to Counting Crows.
They do this
I
thing
rocked
where
Slogans and
they've
everything
now
after.
made me a Counting Crows listener who had a leather jacket.
Watched Frasier.
None of those things have ever happened, but I'm very proud of this mosaic that you all are creating for me.
I have,
but it was, I liked.
I have the
radical
same political
music.
leanings that the Bee Gees do. I would just listen to their music, and that's what.
That's kind of what you're.
That's what
that was the
I
yeah.
Because I'm not dancing, but I probably should be.
That's my political affiliation.
I don't think he knows what he said either.
You're a dork. All right,
Dan's right about the pivot point being the iPhone, though.
Yeah, probably.
And not
most
the
people.
iPhone, but it's social media, and it's right around between 2010 and to 2015. There's this pivot point, and all of a sudden, it's just like politics cracks open and it spills onto everything, and it's suddenly like this thing that turns you against your I can't stand it.
Well, it's probably going to get better.
No.
AI will make it better.
Yeah, just get a friend.
Yeah, maybe we circle on back to why the friend's not a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe I should get one of those.
Until your friend's like, you're talking, and your friend's just like, I don't know, like, it does seem like they commit more crimes than the other.
And you're like, yeah.
It does seem like, I mean, a lot of them are in jail and they don't have single family homes. Like, what's up with that? Dads are leaving. You're like, friend, calm down. Radicalized friend. Go to the rally. Amy, go to the rally. A Mesquite police officer and his dad are facing charges. Police say the father fired a gun at a man who was stalking his son's girlfriend.
Okay.
About what?
Well, he was stalking her. He was like obsessed with her, and this guy's dating her, except the guy's a cop. And so he has the ability to access some police records and like tail people. So the guy who got shot at is facing a felony stalking charge. The cop is facing a felony charge of misuse of official information.
Where's the dad going? What?
Well, the dad fired the shot.
The dad is not the cop?
No. His son's the cop who has the girlfriend who's being stalked. But the guy...
so he's like, hey, Dad.
Yeah, he pulled him over. He ran his plates through like a thing, figured out where he was, kind of followed him around in Wiley. And then...
Wiley?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where Blake lives.
I know. We'll do one about... maybe we'll do one
Wildcats?
more. We'll see.
I'm guessing their team name.
Pirates.
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't really at all. So he did a traffic stop and then let the guy go, but called his dad and said, like, hey, here's the type of car he's in. Here's the plate. He's headed this way. And the dad pulls up and fires a couple shots, or fires a single shot anyways. And then the stalker who got shot at told police that the cop then drove by in his patrol car and yelled, I got you. Like, taunting him. He had, the search warrant found that the cop had made several calls to his father around the time of the incident. Bad decision, Coach.
Yeah. Also, bad decision to stalk the cop's girlfriend. Unless that isn't exactly what was happening.
Well, I mean, he's been charged with stalking, so they at least have some evidence of it. You're saying stalk like if like me, like if I had a girlfriend.
Your wife or something.
Wife.
Yeah. Girlfriend, yeah.
What am I going to do about it?
Shouldn't the son have stopped this? Like if Chappie was stalking your girlfriend, wouldn't you take care of it yourself?
Yeah, but he knew he wasn't legally allowed to, so he thought he'd get around.
You're confused. What do you mean if Chappie was stalking my girlfriend?
Isn't that
the dad is not stalking.
Some guy was stalking.
Some guy was stalking this cop's girlfriend.
Used his own dad.
And he used,
to help.
but he's like, I can't just shoot a guy. I'm
like
a
if
cop.
someone was stalking your wife, you got your dad to go take care of this guy.
I'm confused.
And because you're a cop, you can figure this out and be like, I want someone to shoot this guy, but it can't be me. I'm a cop. Why don't I just get my dad?
I gotcha.
So like Michael Irvin, he did the right thing the wrong way.
Yeah, it's a classic. An absolute classic. Blake, do you know where Cross Timbers Church is in Argyle?
Yeah.
You know the story?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you present it then?
Mm-mm.
Well, they just lost their pastor. This is the epidemic.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
the Morning News had a story about this the other day. We've had like 5 or 6.
They can't find him?
No.
You said they lost him.
No, he was fired.
Hmm.
You see what I deal with here?
I know.
You should have said like he died, but instead you went for
Well, I thought
they lost him.
They misplaced him.
Yeah.
Too bad they didn't have the...
did we check under all the pews?
Did we put an air tag on him?
Yeah, so he resigned last month, and now the elders. Well, I've seen that word. I've seen that word more times in the last month than I care to admit. Because in every one of these stories, they're like, the church elders have decided.
Yeah, that's South Lake Church, right?
Yeah. Drive by it quite often.
Yeah,
they got a
too much
concerning
traffic
report.
out of that church.
It really is. That he had inappropriate communication on social media between a former member of the church. What? Arrested me for what?
It's America.
But then I guess when they put that out, boy, that guy just...
What was the inappropriateness?
They
Sex
said
stuff?
it was... that they say that was not sexual, but it was excessively personal. When that came out, Cosby style, several other women came forward and were like, yeah, the times that he was messaging me were sexual.
Oh. Yeah, you
But-
can't do
Were
that.
they of age?
Kind of does look like Fat Ben Affleck. Yes, they were. And that's, you know what's so sad about that?
That's a good point.
What's so sad about that, or maybe it's just common sense, I guess, is now our rubric or the metric or threshold, whatever, for is this pastor behaving in a morally corrupt way was it a kid?
Right. Well, there's levels.
There are.
But sex isn't against Christianity. I mean,
I think most churches have a pretty hard and fast rule between members of the leadership having sexual relationships with members of the community.
Which makes sense. But when you talk about sexual messages, that could be a lot of different things.
It could. Maybe he's just a huge dork and he's like, hey, saw your church the other day, nice boobies. He's a real dork who's never really sexted before or something. I don't know. But that's kind of the first reaction I had, especially with the first one they reported, that it was just excessively personal, because in all these other cases where pastors have been resigning, it was tried to pick up a prostitute, in a beaten part of Dallas, and it was an undercover cop at a motel. Or
the first one that I read
of
was the guy that had a relationship with had started a sexual relationship with a 12-year-old.
That's the one it sounds like.
Those were very cut and dry cases to me.
Yeah.
This one feels a little bit more like I don't have many details, and I can see. I guess we have to trust the church that they did the right thing, but on its face,
they usually do.
Well, what's weird is there's been times where I remember seeing a video on Twitter maybe last year where there was a pastor. I don't think this was in Texas, but a woman came to the church and stood up and confronted him during the service and said, this guy raped me 20 years ago, or this guy was sexually abusing me when I was a minor 20 years ago. And everyone in the church ran to huddle around him and hug him.
Whoa.
As she's just kind of standing there like, this is not going how I thought it would. So it can kind of go either way, really.
Was that here in Dallas?
No,
that was just something you saw online.
Yeah, it was a big story, but I don't remember where it was.
And we don't know who that woman was or what the backstory.
I do believe it was true based on the guy. Actually, I believe said on the pulpit, he's like, "This is a past sin."
Yeah,
and confirmed it. And then everyone was like, "Well, our whole deal is forgiveness."
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, okay."
You guys do coffee after? Still a bit out in the lobby? Boy, what was worse did you have to go to church as a kid?
Yeah, but I started running the nursery, so I didn't have to go to the actual
boss move.
Yeah, thank you.
That's very smooth. I know Blake did, but you probably went to a fairly small church.
Mm-hmm.
There was no point lower in my life every week than you finally made the finish line. You'd been feeling the wrap up for 10 minutes. You get done, and now you got a fucking visit.
Yeah.
I would stand there, and I'm like, I hate all the kids in my youth group. None of them go to my school. And now it's time for my mom to stand, and my stepdad to stand in this lobby foyer area. The whole thing smelled like way too much hairspray and perfume. I was already about to pass out. And then we tack on another 20 minutes while they visit.
Luckily, I had a grandpa that was eager to get to the Chinese buffet for Sunday lunch.
I needed that.
And we were out of there immediately.
That's awesome.
Strong.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Dan, did you go to church growing up?
Yes, not the whole time, but yeah. For a time, mom thought we needed churching up.
What kind of church was it?
Just
church.
It was not Catholic. It was not, I don't know what. It was just regular church. Wasn't Baptist.
Yeah, currently called a non-denominational, but I don't know that term existed when you were.
Maybe that's what you'd say. I don't know. Why?
I just wondered.
Just doesn't seem like I'd be a church guy.
Well, you don't, but
I don't think it seems like I would either. But I was forced, and I
think it was probably, as I recall now, if I'm looking back, right after the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
She thought we should go to church.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Maybe she thought she would meet somebody there.
Maybe.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm sure it works for a lot of people, but then you have to be married to someone who goes to church.
It didn't seem like she had trouble meeting dudes, though, if I remember my growing up.
Okay. All right, there's your news.
Okay.
Dumb Zone News. Like and
Oh, Pilot Beasley.
The Dumb Zone presents.
So we'll end with this, Sarah Heppola.
Look at this kick-ass graphic.
Wow. What? Why is O.J. Simpson in there?
I have a board game up here called Squeeze the Juice.
No way.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what that photo was of on the shirt behind Dan. Is it him holding up the glove and saying?
Well, Johnny's the one who said it, but yes,
Yeah.
that is that scene. I have one as well. It's a great shirt.
It's amazing.
Sarah, today's Friday, August 2nd.
If you say so.
Happy Friday.
You too.
Happy August.
Happy August to you.
On this
You know
day in
we're driving to California on
I
Sunday?
know. I'm so excited for you guys. Where are you sleeping?
Well, night 1 is Albuquerque. Night 2 is somewhere kind of like on the Arizona, California, Nevada.
Flagstaff, right?
Oh, you're going to Grand Canyon?
I thought it was Bullhead City. Yeah.
Flagstaff would make sense though on the way. Albuquerque's great. There's a cool all-night place called Frontier that has great pancakes. I'm going to stop now.
Oh.
What were you saying, Dan?
Write that down.
Interested.
I got it
we're
right
looking
here.
for places.
Look, I got a list.
Oh, good. On this day in 1921, a jury in Chicago acquitted several former members of the Chicago White Sox baseball team in the Black Sox scandal. They still got banned from baseball. But
just the players?
Yeah. What did they do? Is this a gambling thing?
Yes.
Doesn't
they
it-
apparently threw the World Series.
Oh, wow.
It's a big one.
They weren't
That's a
paying the
big
players.
one.
You think they weren't paying the players a lot in the 70s?
Yeah.
The 1920s.
Oh,
They made a
dang.
bit less. How about this story? On this day in 1932, Stella Walsh won the women's 100-meter dash at the Los Angeles Olympics. They would say 50 years later it was discovered that she was a man.
Are you serious?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Look up Stella Walsh.
Here's a picture of her.
What? What year was that?
That's 1932.
Huh.
And on this day in 1985.
Okay.
Were you living here at that point?
I was. 11 years old.
So you definitely remember because I had just left here the week prior. I was with Uncle Gary for my summer visit. This is the Delta Airlines Flight 191, where 137 people were killed. That's the boo. The yay. This is the wind shear. You've heard about the wind shear.
Oh, yeah.
It was attempting to land. The yay is there was 152 passengers, so 15 survived.
That's too many for you, though, right?
I would like to be the only survivor of a plane crash. I think that'd be cool.
This episode. Do you know where they were sitting?
I don't. That's important, though, right?
Because
you should think I'd always want to sit there.
I became very obsessed with the idea of where you could survive a plane crash.
So, do you know?
Well, no, because you don't know when and how the plane's going to crash. But in general, it's safer in the back because
It's real loud back there.
But then you get the turbulence so much more. So I compromised and sat on an emergency exit row in the middle so that I would always know where the door was.
See, I don't want to do that because then I'd have to help people off the plane.
You know, you
No,
really
you
don't.
just go.
Just go.
Just go.
They say you have to help, so I'll sit one off the exit row.
But you gave your word.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I give my word that I can open it, but because I'm a small woman, nobody actually thinks I'm going to help somebody. So.
Man, women have it so easy.
I know. Now they get to be president and stuff. Hey, I have an unfortunate note regarding the first note in this segment of Stella Walsh. Do you know when they found out that she was intersex?
It said like 50 years after.
Yeah, it was in an autopsy. An autopsy after she was killed during an armed robbery in a parking lot in Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
Where she was buying ribbons for a welcoming ceremony for visiting Polish basketball players.
Oh, my God.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
You said intersex.
Well, that's what they say.
So this is maybe a similar case to What we were talking about earlier?
Perhaps. I don't know. Because this is like an actual autopsy where they said she had a, like Blake, a non-functioning, underdeveloped penis.
Like me.
Small testes and a small prostate.
It's okay. I have one too.
Anyways, R.I.P. to Stella Walsh. Tough one. Boy, this frontier place looks delicious.
Today's birthdays. How about this, Sarah?
Okay.
Rich Dalrymple, 64.
Oh my God. Are we still tracking that guy's birthday? Where is he? That's what I want to know.
He's doing exactly what he was told, which is to take this check.
Oh my God.
And don't
stay in the woods.
Don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
His son.
Aren't you?
Big
Don't
listener.
Don't you guys have his phone number?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought he was a great dude. He never took pictures of me. Well, that I know. He's a fine guy.
I always thought he was the fall guy for that.
He was really really cool.
Oh, interesting.
The fall guy for who? For whoever he was taking pictures for.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. Who would it be? Who would it be in that organization, Dan?
Will McClay.
I like it. I like what you're saying here.
Nah,
Devontae Turpin
nah,
is 28.
He's good, dude.
Horn frog.
Could be a big year.
It's Turpin time.
Change the rules up? I think that's a combo of Turpin and Bones.
Kristaps Porzingis is 29.
Good dude.
What could have been?
Colby Lewis is 45.
It sucks.
That sucks.
Charlie Strong is 64.
Man.
What a
Is that
weird
his
group.
real name?
Yes. Yes, and he is a very
badass.
strong, badass-looking man. And
Could be a good tight ends coach.
Yeah, you knew where I was going. When he got hired as Texas's head coach, I think it was Red McCombs, maybe.
Yeah.
Who of course, the business school is named after, gave a radio interview, big booster. And because Charlie Strong is black, Red McCombs was like, head coach? I don't think so. Possibly a position coach. And the guy had already been a head coach, like elsewhere.
Houston Street is 41.
It's a strong-looking man, right?
Another
That's
Longhorn.
a strong-looking man. There's somebody named Houston Street.
Yes, and he played at Texas.
That's a strong name, too.
And was a badass.
He was.
I think there is a Houston Street in Austin also.
Well, there's a Houston Street in New York.
Yeah. They make you call it that.
2 Kemp spins here.
Okay.
Golden Tate, 36.
That's a good one.
I'm pretty sure, man, he's got a couple, so I'm trying to think. It has to do with Russell Wilson. Was there a rumor that Golden Tate was hooking up with Russell Wilson's wife? What's the specifics on this?
May have had an affair with Russell Wilson's ex-wife, leading to getting punched by Percy Harvin before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know about that last part, but I'm pretty sure about the other part. The crazy lady from the draft photo.
Laramie Tunzel is 30.
Gas mask on draft night plummeted several spots after there was a photo leaked of him smoking pot out of a gas mask.
But he never made another dollar in the NFL.
No, he's quite highly paid. One of the highest. One of the highest.
Nick Diaz is 41.
The brother of Nate.
MMA meathead.
Those guys love their weed too.
Kevin Smith is 54.
Never really got it.
You mean the filmmaker?
Eco?
How old is he?
54. I would have thought older.
Mm-hmm.
You guys familiar with his famous tweet about his wife?
What'd he say?
Are you?
No.
Is this a Kemp spin?
Sounds like it.
Very exciting.
It's still up there. It's got 11,000 retweets from July of 2009. 10 years in, and we bone like we're cheating on each other with each other. A decade plus in her...
Oh, my
No.
gosh.
Can I read it, Blake?
Yes.
A decade plus in her clit brown taint area still owns my dick.
Wow. Wow.
That sounds like love to me. A lot of people don't stay attracted like that.
Fair.
But, yeah.
That's what I've heard. Author Lawrence Wright is 77.
He's a cool dude.
You know him, huh?
Uh-huh. Austin writer.
Oh, yeah.
There's a great... I've read some 9/11 book. Great book.
The Looming Tower.
Looming Tower,
Okay, is
which
that
won the
what it's
Pulitzer. And
One of
then
my favorites.
He also did Going Clear.
Scientology book.
Oh, okay. I read that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool.
You're a Lawrence Wright fan.
I believe
Apparently
we've
so.
had him on the show.
Excellent.
I think we had him on the show.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, whenever they did the Hulu series, which was disappointing because it was in English.
I don't remember having him on.
I've talked to him before.
Okay.
I'm positive of that. And I know he's been on the Musers for sure. But yeah, he's written a bunch of awesome stuff. Looming Tower should not have been all in English.
And Sarah knows him and confirms he's a good dude. Butch Patrick is 71.
Who?
That is Eddie Munster.
Okay.
Oh, I used to have a semi-crush on Eddie Munster.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Edward Furlong is 47. He is the kid from Terminator 2.
Oh, okay.
He dated his teacher at some point.
Is that right?
Yeah, I remember when he was like 16, he was dating a 25-year-old, something like that.
Oh, dude. Also,
It's my love. Look at that.
do you remember Detroit Rock City?
I've heard of that.
The song?
The movie where they're trying to go see Kiss.
Okay, I never saw it.
Natasha Lyonne is in it, who is on my top 10 list.
Wow.
And he dated her when they were filming it. She's in She's in Orange is the New Black, but she's also in American Pie.
I'd be interested in this top 10.
She's in your top
Yeah.
10?
Just because she's weird, man.
She's really interesting. She
she's
gives great interviews.
She's an outlier for sure on the list, but she's very weird.
I think weird.
And I like it quite a bit.
Tell us a little bit more about this top 10. Is number one Melania?
No.
You remember her? Milana.
Oh, Milana.
Is it Milana Weintraub?
Yeah, that's a top 3.
What about Cameron?
Too new.
Not in the top 10.
No. Kim Kardashian.
What about Charo?
Charo for sure. Yeah. Charo.
What about Charlotte Jones?
Man, that's got to be in there too.
Yeah.
Power.
What about like your neighbor's wife?
It's ridiculous.
I feel like we're getting a window into Dan's mind now.
Victoria Jackson is 65.
From Saturday Night Live.
Lance Ito is 74.
From the O.J. Simpson case.
Featured right there on Squeeze the Juice.
J.D. Vance is 40.
Wow.
Never heard of him.
He's having a rough go. He
Weird?
thinks you shouldn't be able to vote as much as me.
Weird?
J.D. Vance?
That's the big bit. Everybody's
the
saying.
new parlance, yeah.
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 There was a childless cat lady moment, and I was very excited about it. That's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
When childless cat ladies are in the news, I feel seen.
Is that you?
I feel seen.
Yeah, he's not.
What's your cat's name?
He's not doing
Wallace.
that well.
Do you ever not be able to find Wallace? And you're
Yeah, yo, where's Wallace?
Oh, where's Wallace? Where's Wallace?
See, the thing is, he didn't really have that much confidence in that one because he kind of like under-delivered it a little bit.
I don't really have confidence in anything, but
Oh.
they all end up.
You were
over the
yelling at
fence.
her earlier.
What are you
You have
gonna do?
plenty of confidence. You have plenty of confidence in how many in middle school sports across the country.
That's because I have kids. You just wouldn't get it.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Ooh. You're just getting your little J.D. Vance moment on. Okay, well, I have friends in San Francisco and New York.
She knows the real issues.
That
of
is
the
a
elites.
touche, yeah.
Why don't you go back to your bubble?
Why don't you go back to your liberal
Boy, this is a full
toilet hole?
standoff here.
Wait, where was I? Oh, Todd Wagner is 63.
That sounds like somebody's name before they changed it to something famous.
He is entrepreneur.
Oh, this Todd. Yeah.
He is Mark Cuban's partner in broadcast.com. So he took his money and just did stuff, laid low.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban just went the other way. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's still invested in a lot of stuff. and
Yeah.
he's-
One of them being the Mavericks, I'm pretty sure. But
But-
yeah, you're right.
The Cubes took it to a public image level.
Yeah. But look at that goatee.
Wow.
That's very
It's like
mid-90s.
it's
right?
Yes.
like that Etch-a-Sketch.
Born on this day, now dead, Lamar Hunt.
Oh,
Was
the
he
great
the one?
Lamar Hunt.
Was he the one?
He's the reason we have
No,
the Dallas.
his dad would crawl on the ground. You ever read about like Lamar Hunt's dad? Like the Hunt family?
No. Is it good?
He's insane.
No, you would love
Really?
it. You would absolutely love it.
How do you read about it? Where do you read about it?
What was that book?
I got a couple books I can turn you on to.
Okay. I need to read. I need to learn about the Hunts.
Yeah, there's
the
a couple,
Murkisons
like
are
Big
wild.
Rich, I think is
Oh,
one.
that's
But
Brian Burrows' book.
that's not the one I read. I have it on my shelf. I just haven't read it yet. But I read one where, like, Lamar Hunt was real stoked on Hayden Kennedy.
Might have gotten it done.
Had a secret
Really,
family.
one of those.
Yeah.
Had a secret family.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Texas Billionaires should be the only Netflix series running. I mean, old Texas Billionaires, they are the most amazing stories.
Yeah, there was some story that, like, the night before the parade, he was with some fellow anti-Catholics, and they were kind of talking about, hey, what if something happened tomorrow?
If they ever came out and said, yes, he had something to do with it directly, then I don't think people would be, like, surprised.
Right.
And Born on the Stay Now Dead, Andrew Gold, the singer of Lonely Boy. Hate the lyrics.
I don't know
Why?
that.
Sense.
I don't know
Why?
that song.
The kid is 2 and is so upset that
Oh, you were telling us
they
about
had
this
another,
recently, right?
that they had another. Yeah, we've broken down these lyrics.
Oh, okay.
It's just listen to the lyrics and you will say this is ridiculous.
I'm trying to remember the song.
It was like the summer of '53. He was born in '51. In the summer of '53, his mother brought him a sister, and then he was crying about it. Like, no, he's not. He's 2. He doesn't care.
Right.
He doesn't even know.
I like fact-checking song lyrics.
Your kid's 2, right? Although he's pretty smart. Maybe he would know.
I think you're on to something, but it ain't far off. Because I think Nora was 3, and she wasn't exactly thrilled about it.
My brother was so pissed. He was 4.
That's what I've been told about me and my brother, too. And right now,
I remember not caring.
She is currently in just once a day. Can we take him back? Can we
Yes.
take him back?
Then I thought it was great because I could
Take him back.
scam him. You talk about crypto scams, like
That was
like here, I will give you a nickel. You give me that dime.
Look, yours
This
is
one's
bigger. Yeah.
And yeah, dude, I made
Eventually, yeah.
dozens of cents on that. Dead on the Stay Still Dead, Wild Bill Hickok,
Wow, we're going back.
Alexander Graham Bell,
Okay.
who invented
Southwestern
so many
Bell.
things.
and Thurman Munson. Oh, and William S. Burroughs.
I definitely had a phase.
Were you stoked on him?
I can see you having a phase.
I had a phase. I regretfully, my Bukowski Kerouac Burroughs phase is one I'd like to forget.
Jake, did you used to smoke?
Not really full time. I was more of a smoke when I
Like a
drank
social
too
smoker.
much. Yeah, and then I just stopped because they made vapes.
Do you still
Sure.
smoke?
Yeah, only in the mornings.
Interesting.
That's when I'd like to do it.
Yeah,
Like
Well,
right when you roll out of bed?
absolutely.
Before brushing teeth?
Yeah, cup of coffee, smokes,
That sounds disgusting.
sit down
sounds
in the
awesome.
dark. I wake up at like 5 in the morning, so 5 to 7 is my smoke time.
I love it.
You're
Smoke and
drinking
cigarettes.
coffee before you're eating.
Oh yeah.
That's very common.
Okay.
I mean, for me, that 5 to 7 time is very similar with more of a modern take, where
Vape?
it's just a 5 hour in the vape in the dark,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
It's great.
No
It's
one
the-
can touch me.
It's the best time of my day.
Wallace is rubbing up against your
Now
leg.
Wallace is inside.
Oh, you sit outside.
Sit
That-
outside.
That's cat time for me, though. When the cat knows that I'm out there, laptop open, writing or something, she's just like,
You're outside too?
no,
Okay.
he's cat's right there. I love it.
Yeah.
Blow a little vape charger in the face of the cat. I let
right.
him have a little fun.
Well, buy Sarah's book. Go to the Dallas Morning News and read Sarah and support all things Sarah. Maybe even go to, is it on Substack?
Or my podcast?
Yeah,
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. That's a Substack joint. Yeah.
that's right.
And then there's America's Girls, the Texas Monthly podcast about the Cultural impact and lost history of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
I always forget about that just because it's not a running podcast.
Yeah,
right?
it was
It's just-
only 8 episodes.
But it hangs out there. It
It
lives.
hangs out there. It's got new life because of that Netflix show that you guys watched. It's been a huge hit for that.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. Last time we had you in here and we talked about like the first 3 or 4 episodes, that's where I still am.
Yeah, fair enough.
I should have.
I think I finished a
keep
4th,
meaning
but I
to
thought
get
about
back
it on
into
the RV too. Although, if you guys, this is probably a weird way to end the show. Are you guys aware of this Lou Pearlman documentary? Do you know who that is?
The name's familiar. Who is it?
He's the guy who created.
Oh,
yes,
it's NSYNC and,
and the
Backstreet Boys.
Yes,
yes.
He was like a massive con artist.
Oh, that guy's such a
That
creep.
bilked like $80 million out of them. Like they were like the most famous pop artists in the world, and they were making like $10,000 a year.
Yeah.
And it's like the story of how he put them together. He's like this fat Chris Farley looking guy, real sleazy, and that's my plan for the RV. So I'll close it like this. Actually, Dan did not mention. There's Lou Pearlman. This is the guy who created like the hottest pop groups in the world. Dan didn't mention the opening scene of the book today.
It's true. I don't know whether to be
Again, I'm unfairly labeled with this. I brought it up
so
once.
the thing is, we're not going to play it. We were going to play it when you mentioned it, but we made a montage of all the times that you have mentioned it. So maybe next time.
You did, really?
Yeah. We'll play it next time, I suppose. But we do have it ready.
I'm on top of a guy, and I don't know where I met him, but we're having sex.
Stop it.
I'm in Paris.
Okay, yeah, I think that's probably enough. Let's close the laptops.
Adios, mofo.
No.